Hello everyone, welcome to What If Deku Becomes the Ultimate Villain Soldier for All for One Part 1. Before we start, please go support KingJoka for writing that awesome fanfic. The Ultimate Soldier is born 10 months before the UA entrance exam in the Tatooine shopping district. Midoriya Izuku. This was the name of the middle school third year lying on the ground, half his face burned from an explosion and barely breathing. Fires were raging as a slime monster was attacking any heroes coming near. The tall figure dressed in black with a mask on approaches the boy completely unnoticed due to the chaos. What have we here? He picks up the boy and throws him over his shoulder. No quirk, huh? You remind me of him, so I'll keep you alive. He puts 2 fingers to his helmet. It's me. I've got a passenger, so bring us both in. Prepare the medic bay. At that instant, the masked figure and Midoriya were swallowed up by black sludge and disappeared. Moments later, a strong gale blasted through the district, clearing up the fire and smoke. The one hero, All Might, could be seen shambling through the district, appearing to look for something. All Might? Where is he? I saw him charge in here. Where are you, young man? All that was visible were the scattered remains of the slime monster, the unconscious Katsumi Bakugo, and a yellow backpack with scattered notebooks. All Might drops to his knees and punches the ground. All Might. I was too late, damn it all. Elsewhere in the world, black sludge springs forth out of nowhere, and the dark figure with the unconscious Midoriya on his shoulder appear in the lab. They are greeted by an old man in a lab coat. Welcome back, Master. Doctor, take care of this one. Doctor. Alright. Thanks. Doctor. I've got to ask, why this one? He charged in there without a quirk to save his friend. I can't help but think that he would have done the same. Doctor. Heh. So what do you plan on doing with him? He'll be of good use to Tamura after a little reprogramming. Doctor. I see. Well, I better fix him up then. 2 days later, still in the lab. Midoriya awakens slowly and gets out of his bed. He calmly stands up and walks out of the room and into an empty hallway. In the hallway he sees a mirror. Looking into the mirror, he sees that his right eye and half of his face is bandaged, while his left eye is now red. He also notices that his hair is slightly singed and has red highlights instead of green. Continuing to walk down the hallway, he comes upon a metallic door. Without giving a second thought, he opens the door and sees giant tubes with humanoid creatures in them. After walking to the end of the room, he finds a chair in front of a bunch of monitors. The chair turns around, revealing someone in it. Doctor? Ah, you're awake. Midoriya remains silent and just coldly stares on. Doctor? Let's see if the reprogramming worked. What's your name? Midoriya. Izuku. Doctor? Age? Midoriya. 14. Doctor? Origin? Midoriya. Japan. Doctor? School? Midoriya. None. Doctor? Relatives? Midoriya. None. Doctor? Purpose? Midoriya. To serve my master. Doctor? Excellent, now let's see if the surgery was a success. Cover your ears. Izuku did as the doctor said. The doctor spoke into the earpiece he had. Doctor? 2 plus 2 is? Midoriya. 4. Doctor? Looks like the comm I installed in your head was a success too. Now that the tests are done, you should get back to master. Almost immediately, a black sludge swallowed up Izuku and caused him to disappear. Izuku reappears in a bar where he comes face to face with a man covered in hands, a purple mist with glowing yellow eyes, and a figure with a black mask. Is this the one, sensei? Yes, he is Tamura. He will be your ultimate soldier. Can we trust him? Worry not, Kurogiri. He'll obey me without question. Tamura. Does he really have to inherit it? Yes. If you inherit my power, it will only make you a larger target. Kurogiri. Will he listen to Tamura? If I order him to, then yes. Turns to Izuku, who was kneeling in front of him. Hello, Izuku. Midoriya. Master. I am all for one. From this day forward you will serve as the League of Villains' ultimate soldier. You are to answer to me. Shigaraki Tamura will serve as your leader. As his soldier, you are tasked with finding more members to serve under the League. Understood? Midoriya. Yes, Master. All for one. Do you understand what a quirk is? Midoriya. Yes, Master. All for one. Good. Do you know what your quirks are? Midoriya. No, Master. Afo. Your quirks are emotionless and soul fire. With your quirk emotionless, you can turn off your emotions, turning you into a living weapon. You are only to deactivate it when given permission by me or Tamura, understood? Midoriya. Yes, Master. Afo. Good. Now your other quirk, soul fire, allows you to convert your life force into incredibly powerful flames. If used too much, it could cause you to die of old age. To counteract this, I've also given you a quirk that gives you a limitless lifespan. This does not mean you are immortal though. Understood? Midoriya. Yes, Master. Afo. Excellent. Last of all, I have given you my quirk. It will allow you to take quirks from humans and bestow them to others. Use it wisely. Midoriya. Yes, master. Afo. Excellent, no for some ground rules. Whenever you leave with the purpose of harvesting quirks you are required to wear this mask. Hands Midoriya a mask. When you wear your mask, you are to respond to the codename hero. If you are captured, you are not to speak of the league. You are to hold Tamura's safety above all else. As the one person who recruits members, you must have a sharp mind. If you come across spies, you are allowed to kill. Violent acts are only allowed when given permission. Do you understand? Midoriya. Yes, master. Afo. Good. I expect good results from you. Now then, here is your first target for recruiting. Afo hands Izuku a picture of a blonde girl holding a knife. Afo. Your mission begins now. Midoriya. Yes, master. First mission. Vampire. In a dark alley a young man dressed formally and wearing a mask can be seen walking into a nearby building. Izuku. Master, I have arrived at the location. Afo. Excellent. Now be careful. Your target is proficient in throwing knives. If you let her get distance, then you'll be giving her an advantage. You are permitted to use your quirks as you see fit. However, you are not to use all for one to steal her quirk. You must also capture her alive and with as little damage as possible. Understood? Izuku. Understood. Afo. Good. Contact me as soon as you've captured her. As the conversation ends, Izuku begins to search the building. Meanwhile at the League of Villains bar. Tamura. Sensei, are you sure about letting him go on this mission? He's really scrawny and doesn't look like he'll be good in a fight. Kurogiri. I have to agree with Shigaraki, sir. He doesn't appear to have any muscle, and I question whether or not he'll be able to use those quirks properly. Afo. You have nothing to worry about. I have a Nomu watching him that will jump in if anything goes wrong. Also, there's another reason why I sent him besides recruiting Toga Himiko. Tamura. What reason is that, sensei? Afo. I want to know if his ultimate soldier self is able to think rationally when on a mission. Tamura. What do you mean? Afo. His quirk removes all of his emotions including fear. He does not fear dying. There's a chance that he'll risk dying in order to complete a mission. I want to confirm if it's more than just a chance. Back to Izuku. Izuku is walking through the building until he notices something out of the corner of his eye. He turns around and notices a skinny creature with an exposed brain. After observing it in silence for a few minutes, he walks up to the creature and places his hand on its brain. A large purple fire emits from his hand and incinerates the creature. Izuku. Irregularity exterminated. Izuku then resumes his walk until he reaches a large door. He opens the door and is met with a sight that normal people would gag at. On the ground were several people in costumes all bleeding. Some were dead while others showed some sign of life. Izuku ignores this as his attention is at the room's end. He walks closer and sees a girl matching the photo given to him by his master. The girl appears to be drinking the blood of a human. Izuku. Target found. The girl turns around and faces the masked intruder. Who are you? Izuku. I am the recruitment agent for the League of Villains, hero. League of Villains? What do they want with me? Izuku. Toga Himiko. You have been selected to join the league as one of its lead members. Toga. Why should I get involved with people like you? Go away so I can finish drinking this guy's blood. Izuku. Refusing is not an option. Toga. You're annoying. Guess I'll be having another blood bag. Toga stands up and throws the knives that she hid at Izuku. Izuku blasted fire at the knives which stopped them in their tracks. When Izuku stopped emitting fire he noticed that Toga was nowhere in sight. Izuku calmly scans the room looking for her. He notices another knife flying towards him. Again he stops it with his fire. Izuku. Ineffective. Noticing two more knives coming from his left, Izuku uses his other hand to blast them with fire. Even while he was distracted by the knives, Izuku managed to notice a figure sneaking up in front of him. It was at this point Izuku noticed something red on his chest. He looked down to see Toga stabbing a knife into his chest. Toga. Gotcha. Toga expected Izuku to stumble back, giving her an opportunity to finish him off. However, Izuku pulled her in with his left arm. Using his other arm, Izuku chopped Toga in the back of her neck, knocking her out. After she passed out, Izuku pulled the knife out of his chest and tied her up with some rope that he got from one of the corpses. Izuku. Master, I've captured the target. Afo. Well done, Izuku. Bring her back to the base. Izuku. Master, several people dressed in costumes are bleeding on the floor. Do I have permission to take the quirks of those that have? Afo. You may, but you are to report your new quirks to me when you return. Izuku. Thank you, master. Izuku proceeds to steal the quirks of the 5 people who are still alive. After stealing their quirks, Izuku picks up Toga and puts her on his shoulder. On the way out, Toga wakes up and bites Izuku's neck. "Toga. You ruined my blood fest, let me go you jerk." Izuku stops walking for a minute. He then proceeds to push Toga's head deeper into his neck. "Izuku. If you need blood then I'll be your personal blood bank. Drink as much as you want." Unbeknownst to Izuku, Toga's eyes widened and she stated blushing. She stayed quiet and drank Izuku's blood as they kept walking. She stopped drinking when they reached the bar. "Izuku. Master, Lord Tamura, I have returned with a target." "Afo. Why are you covered in so much blood?" "Izuku. The target required blood so I gave her blood. It appeared to calm her down. I was also stabbed in the chest by the target." "Afo. Didn't you notice her approaching you?" "Izuku. I noticed her." "Afo. Why did you let yourself get stabbed?" "Izuku. It was an efficient way to get her close enough for capture." "Afo. What would you have done if there were hidden enemies and they attacked you?" "Izuku. I would have fended them off and eliminated them." "Afo. Do you realize that there is a chance that you could bleed out before you exterminate them?" "Izuku. Yes, I realize that, master." "Afo. You really are willing to risk your life for the sake of a mission, aren't you?" "Izuku. Yes, master." "Afo. I guess the reprogramming couldn't change your selflessness. It also appears that you're unable to freely make decisions when your emotionless quirk is activated. Did you encounter any other problems during your mission?" "Izuku. I encountered a strange creature, but I quickly disposed of it." "Afo. What did this creature look like?" "Izuku. It was inhuman, skinny, and had an exposed brain." "Tamura. You idiot, that was our Nomu, do you know how much trouble it is to make one of those?" "Izuku. I was unaware that the creature belonged to the League." "Afo. Calm your rage, Tamura. It was our fault for not informing him of the Nomu." "Tamura. I understand, sensei." "Afo. Good. Kurogiri, prepare a blood transfusion for Hiro before he bleeds to death. Hiro, leave Toga here and go with Kurogiri. When Kurogiri is finished with you, you are to change clothes and return here. Do you both understand?" Kurogiri and Izuku, yes master. 30 minutes later. Izuku walks in dressed completely in black like Tamura. He's no longer wearing his mask, but the right side of his face and his right eye are still bandaged. He then walks towards the booth where his master, Tamura and Toga are. He sits across his master and next to Toga. Toga starts snuggling him when he sits next to her. Izuku keeps an emotionless expression though. "Afo. Now that Hiro has arrived, let us begin the recruitment interview. Toga Himiko, I am all for one. The one next to me is Tamura, leader of the League of Villains. We have brought you here because we believe that your abilities would be useful to us. We are aware that you may have some inquiries about the League, but I can assure you that." "Toga. Say no more, I already decided to join." Afo and Tamura sat there slightly surprised at her quick acceptance. "Toga. But I'll only join on 2 conditions." "Afo. And what exactly are those conditions?" "Toga. You tell me this guy's real name and let me drink his blood." While saying this, she points to Izuku and starts nuzzling against his face. "Afo. Very well then. Hiro, tell her your true name." "Izuku, yes master. My name is Izuku." "Toga. Izuku-kun. Such a cute name." "Afo. I suppose that concludes the recruitment interview. Now then, Izuku, I have new orders for you." "Izuku, yes master." "Afo. First and foremost, you are to protect all League members from harm. You are not allowed to kill the creatures that we identify as Nomu. Also, starting tomorrow you are to begin training your body in order to enhance your physical strength. Understood?" "Izuku, yes master." "Afo. Good. Now remove your bandages." "Izuku, yes master." Izuku proceeds to remove his bandages. This reveals a large burn scar on his face. His right eye is red like his left, but the white part of his eye is black. It also appears to be mechanical. "Afo. With this new eye, we will be able to monitor your movements." "Izuku. Understood." "Afo. Excellent. Deactivate your emotionless quirk." "Izuku, yes master." As Izuku deactivates his quirk, his left eye seems to become more awake. "Afo. How do you feel?" "Izuku. I feel relatively the same master." "Afo. Judging from your manner of speech I can tell that it worked." "Izuku. I do feel more capable now." "Afo. The fact that you're expressing your opinion now also signifies that it worked. Now pay attention Izuku, I'm giving you another objective." "Izuku. Okay master." "Afo. Since you are more analytical in this state, I want you to study heroes to find out their weaknesses and ways to exploit them. I also want you to study the League members and find ways for them to improve. Understood?" "Izuku, yes master." I'll do my best to make you proud. Izuku flashes a bright smile. This causes Afo to smile under his mask as well. Toga. I think I like this Izuku more. He's way cuter. Afo. That reminds me, Toga, you are to stay by Izuku's side as his partner. You are to make sure he doesn't do anything reckless. You are also to serve as the League's undercover agent. Toga. Yay, I get Izuku all to myself. Izuku. I look forward to working with you too, Toga. Afo. Let's conclude this meeting with a toast. Kurogiri, bring us some drinks. Bring one for yourself as well. Kurogiri brings 5 glasses of wine for the table. Afo. To the beginning of the League of Villains. Everyone. Cheers. Interview in Dagaba Beach. It's been 3 months since Izuku began training his body and quirks under Afo. He's made decent progress in building a bit of muscle, but the most development seems to be in his quirks. He's discovered that he can use his soul fire quirk to turn his fingers into makeshift blowtorches. He's learned to combine his sharpen and crystal quirks to turn his limbs into unbreakable blades. After testing out his volcano quirk, he found out that it will burn him if he uses it for too long. He's developed his scan quirk to the point where he can scan a human body for problems. The only quirk he hasn't worked on is his munch quirk. He's currently practicing how to use knives with Toga in the League's underground training facility, which was built on Soldier Izuku's recommendation. Izuku is standing in complete darkness while holding a dagger in each hand. Left dagger. Right dagger. In the shadows is Toga dressed in a black suit and wearing night vision goggles. Izuku is looking around using his search to try and locate Toga. He notices and focuses on a blue aura coming straight at him. He uses his dagger to block a knife trying to slash his face. Toga. Not bad, Izuku, but you let your guard down. Izuku notices something coming from above and jumps back to avoid it. He drops his knife as he jumps back. He sees a gray aura in the shape of a knife falling. Toga grabs the knife as it's falling and lunges at Izuku. Toga. I win. Toga tries to stab Izuku, but he blocks it with the dagger he didn't drop. She tries to use the knife she had in her other hand to stab Izuku, but he grabs her wrist before she stabs him. Using the momentum of them falling, Izuku swings Toga over his shoulder and slams her back on the ground. Without a moment's hesitation, he positions himself on top of Toga and stabbed his dagger into the floor, just barely missing her face. Izuku. Target immobilized. Training complete. Result. Victory. As Izuku said this, the light switched on, revealing the room covered in slash marks that they were in. Izuku gets off of Toga and retrieves the dagger that he dropped. Toga. Excellent as always, Izuku. Here's your reward. Toga proceeds to grab Izuku's face and pull him in for a kiss. After a minute of lip lock, Toga breaks the kiss and is met with a neutral, emotionless face. This causes a frown to form on her face. Toga. Geez, could you at least show some feeling after that? Izuku. Apologies. I am unable to express emotions while my quirk is active. Toga. This isn't fair, I'm your partner, I should be able to see you being flustered and excited. While Toga continues to ramble on, Izuku receives a communication via the communicator in his head. Afo. Izuku, have you completed your training? Izuku, yes master. Afo. Good. Now get changed and make your way to the bar along with Toga. You are to conduct another recruitment interview with a possible new member. Izuku. Understood, master. The communication ends. Izuku. Lady Toga, master has requested our presence for a recruitment interview. We are to get changed and make our way to the bar immediately. Toga. That sounds boring, but I guess if the big boss is calling me then I have to go. Let's go, Izuku. Having said that, Toga and Izuku head to their room to change into their villain uniforms. After they finish dressing, they head to the bar and are met Afo, Tamura, a man with a black mask, and a shady-looking guy wearing sunglasses. Afo. Ah, hero. You've arrived just in time. Allow me to introduce you to these two. The man with the glasses is an info and villain broker named Jiren. You'll be cooperating with him a lot in the future. Jiren. Nice to meet you, kid. Jiren says, extending his hand towards Izuku. Izuku. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Jiren-san. Afo. I look forward to the results I'll get from you too. Now this man is a villain that Jiren has recommended for the league. His villain name is Twice. Twice. Nice to meet ya, you piece of shit. Izuku just keeps a neutral face, while Toga seems to be getting pissed off. Toga. Why don't you insult my hero? Twice. Ah, young love. I'm so jealous. Tamura. This guy's a nut. Afo. And that's where hero comes in. Tamura. What's that supposed to mean, sensei? Afo. According to Jiren, Twice suffers from a traumatic experience. I asked Hero to come in here to see if there was a way for him to fix Twice's problem. Twice will be much more useful if he's fixed. Tamura. I see. Afo. Good, now get to it, hero. Izuku, yes master. After saying that, Izuku walks to Twice and places his hand on his face. Twice. Is this gonna hurt? Izuku just remains silent. Twice. I'll take that as I don't fucking know. Izuku. Read. Izuku's hands glow a bright blue, and a blue light can be seen coming from the left eye hole in his mask. In Izuku's mind, he's walking down a hall filled with paintings. In the paintings are Twice's memories. Izuku stops at a particular painting with a man standing in an empty room with blood and grey sludge on the floor and walls. He touches the frame of the painting and it starts to glow. On the floor falls a copy of the painting. Izuku grabs the copy and it gets absorbed by him. Back in the real world, Izuku opens his eyes and removes his hand from Twice. Twice. That it? Izuku? Yes. Afo. Have you found a way to cure him, hero? Izuku, yes master. May I begin the treatment? Afo. You may. Izuku. Understood. Izuku then faces Twice and rolls up the sleeve of his right arm. His right arm then crystallizes and sharpens. He then brings his arm down and slices Twice's left arm clean off. Everyone flinched seeing this while Izuku kept a straight face behind his blood-covered mask. Twice. Ai my arm. Tamura. What the hell? Toga. Oh shit. Jiren. Is he insane? Afo. Hero, what is your reasoning behind this? Izuku. I have cured his disorder. Twice. You cut off my arm, how is that helping? Izuku. You are still here. Twice. Izuku. Jinbubegawara. Disorder. Fear of getting injured. Cause. Traumatic experience which resulted in inability to differentiate self from clone. Solution. Prove that Jinbubegawara is not a clone. Results. Success. Jinbubegawara, you are real. Twice just froze trying to process what Izuku just told him. He grabbed onto the place where his arm was cut off. He winced when his hand made contact. Twice. Pain. He pulled back his hand and held it in front of his face. His gloved palm was crimson red. Twice. Blood. Twice just stared at his hand in silence for a bit. After a while, his mask started showing tear marks on it. He took off his mask which revealed his face covered in tears with a smile. Twice. Woo I'm real. Twice got up and hugged Izuku, completely ignoring the fact that he was still bleeding like crazy. Twice. Thank you so much, little buddy. Afo. So this is his thought process. Rather extreme, but it did get the job done and quite effectively as well. This soldier side has the makings of a tyrannical leader. Well done, hero. You successfully cured Twice of his PTSD. Although, was there no other way to go about doing this? It was at this moment Twice realized that he was still missing an arm and squirting blood out everywhere. Twice. That's right, you cut off my arm, I'm gonna bleed to death. Hearing this, Izuku placed his hand on Twice's stump and crystallized it, successfully stopping the blood. Twice. Oh. Izuku. This was one of the only methods to guarantee success, master. Afo. I see. Afo turns to face Jiren and Twice. Afo. I apologize for my subordinate's extremities. I hope this doesn't affect your enthusiasm of joining the league. Twice. Are you kidding? This guy here practically just saved me from my own mind. If I can stick with this guy, then I have no complaints about joining. Sign me up, Darth Vader. Jiren. I like this kid, so I'll agree to keep informing you guys about potential members. Afo. Excellent. I look forward to hearing from you in the future, Jiren. As for you Twice, welcome to the League of Villains. Twice. Woohoo. Tamura. So noisy. Afo. Hero, take off your mask. Izuku, yes master. Izuku proceeds to take off his blood-soaked mask and place it on the table. Afo. Allow me to reintroduce him. This is Izuku. The League of Villains' ultimate soldier. He is the leader of our assault squad as well as the person who determines if a potential recruit is worthy enough to join the league. Twice, you will be placed in Izuku's squad and will serve as his right hand along with Toga. Twice. Got it. Looking forward to working with you Izubro and Toga. Izuku just continues to stare silently at Twice. Twice. Is he always like this? Toga. That's just his quirk. It removes all his emotions. Twice. Can he turn it off? Afo. Unless he is ordered to by me or Tamura, then no. Toga. That reminds me, hey boss. Afo. What is it, Toga? Toga. I think I should have control over Izukun's quirk. Afo. And what exactly is your reasoning behind that? Toga. You yourself stated that my duty is to prevent Izukun from doing anything reckless. Since I have no means of stopping him when he's like this, the only other option is to stop him from using his quirk. And while you're at it, letting me give him orders would also help prevent disasters. Afo? I see. That's a surprisingly rational point coming from someone like you. Very well then. Izuku, from this point onward you are to recognize Toga as a supplementary master beneath myself and Tamura. You are to answer any orders you receive from her, as long as they do not conflict with any pre-existing orders created by myself or Tamura. Understood? Izuku? Understood, master. Afo? Good. You should be able to give him orders now, Toga. Toga? Yay, can I test it? Afo? Go ahead. Toga? Izuku, turn off your quirk. Izuku? Yes, Toga-san. Izuku's left eye regains a lively glow, and his face seems to regain a bit of emotion. Afo? Looks like it was a success. Izuku? It worked. Toga-san, it worked. Izuku is interrupted by Toga grabbing his cheeks and pulling him closer until Izuku's face starts heating up and becomes redder than his eyes. After pushing himself away he starts jittering and stuttering, as if he doesn't know what to do or say. Izuku? Ayashiwa, what is tt this? Toga? That face is so adorable, I wanna see more of it, I wanna see it get even cuter. Afo? I should have known. Tamura? Gross. Twice. Wolf whistle. Toga? Come here, Izuku-kun, I wanna do something even better to you. Izuku tries to move away, but his legs are going towards her. Izuku? What's going on? Afo? It appears to be a side effect from your soldier quirk. It looks like any orders given to you are still in effect even after you deactivate it. Toga? Good news for me then. Afo? Izuku, stop. Izuku stops walking immediately and seems to regain control of his body. Izuku? I stopped. Toga? Why? Afo? My orders are top priority. He'll obey them even if he has to disobey other orders. Izuku? Yeah, I'd kill myself if it meant master could benefit from it. Twice. Talk about loyalty. Jiren? This is interesting and all, but I've gotta go. I've got other clients waiting. I'll see you later, Jin. Twice. Okay, see you, Jiren. Jiren then proceeds to walk out the door while lighting a cigarette. Afo? No, that business has been taken care of, it's time for a report. Izuku, I assume you finished your task. Izuku? Yes, master, I finished it last night. Izuku then proceeds to hand Afo a college notebook. On the book was written Pro Heroes 5100. Twice. Dafik is dat. Afo? Part of Izuku's duties. He is to gather intel on various heroes and their weaknesses, as well as come up with strategies to counteract their quirks and fighting styles. His incredibly strategic mind combined with his soldier self's ability to complete any task without any hesitation is what makes him the ultimate soldier. Twice. Cool, wasn't really paying attention, but cool. Afo? By the way, Izuku, how's your quirk training coming along? Izuku? I've managed to make progress with all of my quirks except for Munch. Afo? That quirk requires you to ingest materials, right? Izuku? Yes, it does, master. Afo? I can see why you haven't been able to train it then. I may have a way for you to do so though. Izuku? What is it? Afo proceeded to give Izuku a small GPS device and show him a picture of a garbage-covered beach. Afo? This is Dagaba Beach. There are tons of materials there for you to consume. That GPS will guide you to the beach. I'm going to allow you to go as your regular self due to your soldier personality's one-track mind. I'm also trusting you to go alone because now I have to speak to Toga about abusing her privileges. Toga? Gulp. Afo? As for Twice, he's need here so we can conduct experiments without fear of running out of test subjects. Twice. Sounds fun yet frightening. Afo? Remember, Izuku, you are not to mention anything about the league or its members. Understood? Izuku? Understood, master. Afo? Good. Return here before sunset. When you return, we'll be testing out that quirk, so make sure to eat a lot of mechanical and electrical objects. Izuku? Okay, master. I'll change clothes now and leave when I'm done. Just as he said it, Izuku goes to his room and changes into casual clothes given to him by Kurogiri. After getting dressed, Izuku immediately embarks for Dagaba Beach. After a bit of walking, Izuku arrives at Dagaba Beach. Izuku? It's even messier than in the picture. Izuku proceeds to walk onto the beach and pick up an old radio. Izuku? Let's get started. Izuku somehow manages to fit the radio in his mouth and swallow it whole. Izuku? Has my jaw always been this wide? Izuku tries to check with his finger to see if there's anything strange with his mouth. When he does, he feels a sharp prick. Izuku? That's odd. He picks up a broken mirror with a gold rim and holds it up to his face while he opens his mouth. In his shattered reflection, he can see that his teeth are extremely pointy and shark-like. Izuku. I guess this is how munch works. Izuku then proceeds to eat the mirror. Izuku. Let's test out the other effect. A bright light forms in Izuku's hand and an almost identical and intact mirror forms in front of him. Izuku. It works. But, it looks a little different. The rim is missing and it looks smaller. There were a few pieces of the mirror missing, so it must have been formed relative to how much I ate. The missing rim is probably because I didn't put too much thought into it. Let's try the radio. Izuku proceeds to recreate the radio he ate. It turns up looking exactly like it did before and managed to work. Izuku. It looks like whatever I eat gets brought back to working conditions if I have all the pieces. 5 hours later. Izuku looks at the beach and uses scan to look for all the electrical appliances. The world through Izuku's eyes gains a blue tint and all the electrical appliances have a white glow. Izuku. Looks like I still have a long way to go. Out of the corner of his eye Izuku notices white glow. When he turns for a better look, he sees that it's attached to 1 out of 4 black auras. Izuku turns off his scan and sees the black aura as 4 rough-looking middle-aged men walking into an alleyway. Izuku. What's going on there? Out of curiosity, Izuku follows the thugs into the alley without being noticed. When he gets in deep enough, he sees a scared teenage girl about his age. She had brown hair and eyes. She looked like she was close to crying. Izuku. This scene seems familiar. Oh yeah, Kurogiri told me about this type of crime. I believe it was called Girl. Help Grape. Izuku. Yep, that's it. Hearing the girl scream, one of the thugs smashed an empty bottle over her head and knocked her out. Thug 1. What the hell, man? Thug 2. What do you want me to do? She would have brought attention to us. Thug 3. Yeah, but you could have just shut her mouth. Don't damage the goods before we've had our fun. Thug 4. Shut up, let's start before someone comes and looks for her. As Thug 4 reached out to grab the girl, everyone suddenly saw a red blur rush past them. Thug 2. What was that? Thug 3. I don't know. Suddenly, the red blur rushed again and went straight for Thug 4. It stopped at Thug 4 before jump into the air. Thug 4's screams echoed through the now red splattered alleyway. Thug 4. I took my bucking hand. Thug 1. What the hell is that? Thug 3. Who the buck cares? Just run before it gets you. The 4 men started running out of the alleyway, but they stopped when they saw something at the entrance. It was a teenager with black hair and red highlights. Half his face was covered in bandages. His clothes were splattered with blood. He had a nightmarish smile on his face that made the 4 men's hearts stop. The red glow was shining through his bandages. He threw something on the ground. It was Thug 4's hand. When the men looked back up, he was gone. In a split second, Thugs 2 and 4 were slammed headfirst into the ground. When Thugs 1 and 3 turned around, they were immediately met with 2 extremely hard punches to the gut. As they were flinching from the punches, they both got another punch to the head, which sent them both straight into the ally wall. Izuku then smashed their heads deeper into the wall, successfully knocking them out. Izuku. That was a good workout. I can see the results from training my body quite clearly now. Izuku looks at the damage he caused and walks towards Thug 4. He places his hand on Thug 4's head. Izuku. Let's see if you guys have any useful quirks. After a minute nothing happens. Izuku. Quirkless. Izuku tosses the guy to the side and moves on to the other 4. He does the same as he did with the first and gets the same results. Izuku. They're all quirkless. But if that girl has a quirk, then how did she the law against using quirks in public? They must have used that against her. Izuku. Damn. This endeavor bared me no fruit. Guess I should head back. Izuku was about to head back when he realized that he almost forgot about the girl. Izuku. Oh yeah, the girl. Izuku walked over to the unconscious girl. She was bleeding from her head and looked like she was carrying some shopping bags. Izuku lifted up her hand and checked her pulse. Izuku. Looks like she's still alive. Izuku notices that she had little pads on her fingertips. Izuku. Looks like she does have a quirk. But should I take it? In Izuku's mind, he was contemplating on whether or not he should take the girl's quirk. If he took it, then it would be an obvious addition to his skill set, but the fact that he took a young girl's quirk would probably draw the attention of heroes towards his master. When he first stole his 5 quirks, he was sure that the heroes were on the verge of death, but this girl could very much survive the injury and go on to report that her quirk was stolen. Killing her was out of the question as it could lead into an investigation. After thinking hard, Izuku decides not to steal the girl's quirk. Izuku. Looks like I'm gonna have to let her live with her quirk. Focusing on the living part, I should probably take her to a hospital. Izuku proceeded to pick up the girl bridal style and wrap her in his jacket along with her shopping bags. When he did, he saw a flyer fall out of her pocket. It was advertising a supermarket sale. Izuku must not have a lot of money. After 20 minutes of walking, the local hospital was in Izuku's sight. Before he made it to the entrance, however, the girl woke. Girl. My head hurts. Izuku. You're awake. Girl. Who are you? Izuku. I'm no one special. Girl. What happened to those men? Izuku. I took care of them. Girl. Why? Why would you do this for a stranger? Especially when your face is injured like that. Izuku. I have my own reasons. Girl. I see. By the way, where are we? Izuku. The hospital. You took a hard blow to the head. As if on cue, a nurse came out of the hospital and started rushing towards. Nurse. Sir, what happened to this young woman? She needs to be treated immediately. Izuku. She was attacked by 4 middle-aged quirkless men in an alley near Dagaba Beach. I suggest calling the police. I brought their IDs with me. Nurse. I'll make sure to do that. Now come with us, we'll treat your and the girl's wounds inside. Izuku. You only need to treat her, I didn't get injured. Nurse. Sir, but your face. Izuku. Has already been taken care of. I'm giving the girl and IDs to you and leaving. As Izuku said this, he placed the girl on a gurney that some paramedics brought. He then went in close to the girl's face and whispered. Izuku. You can use what's under my jacket to cover your medical bills. And take what's in the pocket as a present. Izuku then turned around and proceeded to leave. Girl. Thank you, you're my hero. Izuku stopped when he heard those words. Something inside him seemed to flare up when she spoke those words. Izuku chose to shake the feeling off and simply walk away. When he was out of sight, the girl checked underneath the jacket and found a solid gold brick. Her eyes widened at the sight. When she dug in the pocket, she found a golden necklace. She was almost crying because of the boy's generosity. Izuku. I wonder why I gave her that stuff. And what was that feeling I got? It felt warm. I'll have to ask Master about it when I get back. Izuku. Having said that, I should probably head back since the sun has nearly set. Meanwhile, at the League of Villains bar. Eifo was paging through Izuku's hero notebook, analyzing all the hero's weaknesses until he stopped at the hero rank 67. Eifo. The Jade Dragon, Hisashi Midoriya. Interesting. Second mission. Flames of Hatred and Flames of the Soul. When we last left Izuku, he was on his way back to the hideout. Right now he's right outside the hideout entrance, clutching his stomach and trying not to barf. Izuku. Ugh, my stomach is killing me. I should have offloaded more gold back there. Still clutching his stomach, Izuku manages to knock on the door. Afik. Izuku. It's me, Twice. The door immediately opened and revealed Twice covered in grey goop from all the experiments. Twice. Izu bro, welcome back, how was the bee? Toga. Izu-kun. Twice got interrupted by Toga shoving him out of the way and leaping onto Izuku with tears in her eyes. Izuku. Toga-san. Toga. Izu-kun, it was so horrible, he scolded me. Izuku. Huh. Twice. She was yelled at and lectured about what orders were appropriate for the whole time you were gone. Toga. It was so horrible and boring, my ears are still ringing too. Twice. It's your own fault. You should have acted out a line back there and you should have given Izu bro that sketchy order. Toga. It's not fair, I just wanted Izu-kun all to myself. Twice. Sigh kids today. Anyways, Izu bro, the boss wants to see us. Izuku. Okay. Toga-san, do you mind getting off of me? Toga. No, there's no way I'm letting you go. Toga proceeds to squeeze Izuku tighter while he somehow manages to get on his feet. As soon as Izuku stands up, Toga's eyes widen. All of a sudden she starts sniffing Izuku's torso. Twice. Wow. She's letting her inner hitch run loose. Izuku. Toga-san. Toga stops sniffing and shoots Izuku a sharp rage-filled glare. Toga. You smell of a female. Izuku. I guess that girl's scent must have rubbed off on me, that's because I carried some girl to the hospital before heading back here. The second he said this, Izuku got bit hard in the neck. Blood splattered everywhere as Toga just kept digging her canines deeper in Izuku's neck. Izuku. Ouch, Toga-san, what are you doing? Toga. Who the hell said you could cheat on me? Izuku. Cheat. What do you mean? Twice. Hang on Izu bro, I'm a comin'. Twice proceeds to throw pepper in Toga's face. This causes her to sneeze and let go of Izuku. Toga. Achoo. Twice then immediately duct tapes Toga's arms, legs and mouth shut. He then quickly bandages up Izuku's neck. Izuku. Not bad for a guy with one arm. Twice. Thanks, now let's get going. We can leave her here. Izuku and Twice then left for the underground training facility. Izuku. Twice, what did Toga-san mean by cheating? Twice. I'll explain it later. Soon enough, they reach the training facility. Inside they see Afo standing in the middle with a table in front of him. On the table were several metallic-looking cubes, as well as a blueprint for something. Afo? Ah, Izuku. I assume you've stockpiled on electrical devices, correct? Izuku? Yes, I have, master. Afo? Good. Take a look at those blueprints. Izuku proceeds to pick up the blueprints. They appear to blueprints for a mechanical arm. Afo? Izuku, I want to see how useful your quirk is to the League. As a means of doing that, I want you to build this device as depicted on the blueprints. The materials needed as well as the amount of them necessary are written on it. If you are missing any materials, feel free to devour what's on the table and use it. Izuku? Okay, master. Izuku takes a minute to look at the materials. After a while, he begins eating the materials on the table. When he finishes, he rolls up his sleeve and his arm starts glowing intensely. After the glow dies down, the arm appears in Izuku's hand. Izuku? Forgive me, master. I was only able to make the outer frame. I lack the necessary materials for the inner components and power source. Afo? I was aware of this from the beginning, Izuku. I wanted to test if you could recycle and combine materials in your mind and create them as you see fit. The test was a success, well done, Izuku. Izuku? Thank you, master. Afo? Now, there is another reason why I called you here. Awaken hero. But those words, Izuku's left eye lost all signs of life and his face became completely emotionless. Izuku? What is your request, master? Twice. Wow, just like that. Afo? Yes. His quirk activates fast and can only be activated by those who I've registered as masters. In fact, he himself can't activate or deactivate it. He's much more loyal and obedient in this state, but he's more likely to resort to extremities in this state as well. Twice. Yeah, I remember that last part. Twice clutches his arm stump as he says this. Afo? Izuku, your next mission will be similar to the first. You and Toga are to bring this man to me. Afo then proceeds to hand Izuku a picture of a young black-haired man covered in burns. Afo? Unlike last time, the target has been made aware of our existence and offer via Jiren. However, he does not exhibit any interest in joining. Bring him here so that we can persuade him to join. You'll be able to find him in Hosu City. Izuku, yes, master. Afo? Good. Twice, you will come with me so the doctor can't see to your arm. Twice. Okayly dokeyly. Afo? Hero, suit up and leave immediately and remember, I'll be watching. Izuku, yes, master. Izuku then proceeds to leave training area and head to the entrance to get Toga. He arrived at the bar to find Toga squirming in the corner. He then uses his blowtorch fingers to remove the tape on her arms and legs, while he just quickly ripped off the other duct tape from her mouth. Toga. Ow, you bastard, how dare you rip that off after you cheat on me? You, son of a. When Toga looks at his face for a response, all she sees is an emotionless cold gaze. Toga. Oh, it's you. Izuku. Toga-san, we have a capture mission in Hosu City. We are to leave immediately after change into our uniforms. Toga, still a little peeved, knew she had to go through with this, otherwise she'd get another scolding from Afo. Toga. Fine, but you're carrying me to our room and dressing me. That's an order. Izuku. Understood. Izuku then picks up Toga and carries her to their room. He then undresses her and dresses her in her villain costume, same one as training camp, while she sadistically grins. After that, he changes into his uniform and equips himself with his daggers and twin pistols. They then leave for Hosu via the League's stealth vehicle. Toga. Yon, why are we doing a mission this late at night? Izuku. The target is a wanted criminal and therefore less likely to leave their hideout during the day. By logic it would be easier to track them during the night. Toga. How are we even going to find this guy? Izuku. The target uses a flame-related quirk, if he uses it, it will show up on the vehicle's thermal scanner. Alternatively, I am able to use my scan to detect life forces. I am able to distinguish his life force apart from others. Additionally, according to police records intercepted by Jiren, he was last seen in a specific district outside the public area, so our search area has been reduced. Toga. Yawn, boring. I'm gonna sleep. Wake me up when you find the guy, K. Izuku. Understood. Toga then proceeds to lie down on Izuku's lap and fall asleep. Soon they reach Hosu and Izuku begins searching. He's searching via a thermal scanner projected on a monitor in front of him. 4 hours later. After 4 long hours of searching, the thermal scanner begins detecting a large heat source. Following the signal, Izuku ends up at a foundry. Izuku then starts typing on the monitor. After reading what pops up on the screen, he stares at the building. Izuku. Scan. Focus. Izuku's left eye turns blue, and the world goes dark to a near-usable appearance. In the darkness he can see a blue aura in the shape of a skinny human. It appears to have spiky hair and is somewhat tall. Izuku's eye then returns to its normal blood red. Izuku. Toga-san, we have arrived. Toga. Yawn finally. This the place. Izuku. Yes. Izuku and Toga then got out of the vehicle and slowly walked to the entrance. Toga. Hey, this is a foundry isn't it? Izuku. Yes. Toga. Wouldn't the heat this place creates interfere with the thermal scanner? Izuku. The foundry closed 3 hours ago. Toga. Yeah, but wouldn't there still be faint traces of heat? Izuku. The faint traces are detectable. They are being used in an attempt to disguise one's body heat rather than any remaining heat caused by a quirk. Toga. How do you know that? Izuku. My scan has shown a person still inside. There should be no one left at this hour. The figure also matches our target's description. Izuku and Toga then reach the entrance. Izuku opens the door and takes a step forward but suddenly stops and pushes Toga back. Suddenly Izuku's top half is blasted and engulfed in blue flames. Toga. Hero. Eh? Not bad kid. You've got sharp eyes. Anyone else would have been dead from that. When the fire dies, Izuku is revealed with the top of his outfit minus his mask completely burned off. His torso and head appear to be fully crystallized. Izuku. Target found. Toga. Hero, are you okay? Izuku. No injury sustained, Toga-san. Hero. So you're the recruitment agent Jiren told me about. Izuku. Yes. I thought I made it clear that I'm not interested in joining. Izuku. Refusing is not an option. Toga. Ah, nostalgia. Persistent eh? That's normally a trait I consider good, but in this situation it's quite annoying. Looks like I'm gonna have to take a more straightforward approach to this situation. Oi, you with the teeth. After I kill this guy, tell your boss that the villain known as Dabi isn't interested in his league. Toga. Don't get too full of yourself. Hero isn't someone to take lightly. Dabi. That's so. Well whatever. Dabi's right hand ignites with blue flame, while Izuku's ignites with purple flame. They both thrust their hands forward and send out large blasts toward each other. The blasts collide with each other and puts the two in a stalemate. Dabi, seeing that their flames were equal, ups the power and starts overpowering Izuku. Izuku, in response, uses his other hand to increase his firepower and equalize. Dabi does the same and starts overpowering Izuku again. To counter this, Izuku's arms fully ignite and more flame is emitted. Before this can go on, Dabi cuts off his flames and jumps to the side to avoid some sort of needle thing coming straight towards him. Izuku uses this opportunity to rush towards Dabi with his daggers. Dabi sees him coming and tries to blast him, but Izuku emits flames from his feet and uses them to launch over Dabi's flames and land behind him. He then tries to rush Dabi, only to have him launch himself up with flames as well. Dabi then has to dodge several knives being thrown at him by Toga. Izuku pulls out his pistols and starts firing at Dabi's feet. Dabi sees this and unleashes flames to stop the bullets. Izuku then directs his right arm at Dabi. Magma then starts oozing from his arm. Izuku. Great eruption. Izuku then launches the magma towards Dabi. Dabi, knowing he can't block the attack, moves out of the way. This causes him to not notice Izuku in the air right next to him. Izuku then tackles Dabi to the ground and clamps something onto his hands and feet. Izuku. Target captured. Dabi. What the hell is this? Dabi can't see his hands and feet are caught in some kind of metal balls. He tries melting them but ends up burning his own hands. Izuku. Steel balls lined inside with tungsten. They can only come off with the key I made. You will be unable to melt them much less stand up. Dabi. Damn it to think I'd lose like this. I really am weak. Toga. Good job, hero. Now let's head back to base. Just as Izuku was about to pick up Dabi, something suddenly came bursting in through the roof. Hold it right there villains. From the roof came 3 people in costumes. 2 men and a single woman. We've finally tracked you down Dabi. Dabi. These losers again. Toga. Who are these guys? Izuku. Water pressure hero. Flood. Electric hero. Electric man. Temperature heroine. Therma. Ranks 104, 117 and 118. Flood. Oh, so you've heard of us. That makes things easier. Therma. You're all under arrest. You with the mask, you're being charged with illegal use of your quirk. Toga Himiko, you're wanted for the assault and murder of various heroes and civilians. The same charges apply to you Dabi. Toga. Just our luck. Electric man. Surrender peacefully and you won't get hurt. Toga. Oi hot hands, do something it's your fault they're here isn't it? Dabi. I'm captured either way so I don't really care. Toga. Screw you hero what do we do? Before hero can't say something he hears a voice in his head. Afo. Switch out hero. Izuku then deactivates his quirk and his eye livens back up. Izuku. Master, what are your orders? Toga. He's here. Abi. The hell are you talking about? Afo. Izuku, kill all of them and steal their quirks. Make sure none of them escape alive. Izuku. Understood. Izuku then starts walking towards the heroes and fires up his blowtorch fingers. Electric Man. Looks like we've got a challenger. Therma. What a shame. He's got a nice body. Electric Man. You in heat or something? Therma. What was that punk? Flood. Hey, fight the villain, not each other. Flood blasts Izuku with a large stream of water, to which Izuku defends by using his blowtorch fingers to stop it from reaching him. Flood. I lost to flames. How about this then? Water bullets. Flood then shoots Izuku with a barrage of fast-flying water bullets. Izuku defends against this by crystallizing his body. The bullets don't do any damage to Izuku but break a part of his mask and reveal his mechanical eye and burn scar. Electric Man. Keep distracting him and blasting him with water, I'm about to spark things up. Electric Man then electrocutes the water on the ground that leads towards Izuku. This however has no effect on Izuku. Electric Man. What? Why isn't it working? Therma. His body is made of what looks like diamond. Of course electricity wouldn't work on him. But freezing might. Therma proceeds to slam her hands on the ground. The ground suddenly gets colder and Izuku's feet get stuck to the now frozen water on the ground. Therma. Now cuff him with the anti-quirk cuffs. Flood then rushes to cuff Izuku, but he didn't expect Izuku's feet to ignite and launch him in the air. Flood. What the? Izuku. Thermal regulation, a quirk that allows the user to manipulate their own body temperature as well as the temperature of anything they touch. Electrify, the user is able to emit electricity from their body but cannot discharge it for a long distance attack. Flash flooding allows its user to emit and control large amounts of water. Out of the three of these, the one I have to get rid of first is. Izuku then jets downwards and grabs Flood's head while keeping his body in the air. Izuku. Is you. Flood. You damn punk, get off of me. Flood then points his hands towards Izuku and tries to use his quirk, but nothing happens. Flood. What? Izuku. You really should have learned to use quirk more effectively, it might have helped you live longer. Don't worry though, I'll make good use of it. Flood. Gasp. Izuku's hands then start shining a bright purple and he emits high temperature flames that completely engulf Flood's head. Izuku. Cremation. Electric Man and Therma. Flood. When flames stopped, it was revealed that Flood's head had been completely incinerated with not even ashes remaining. Electric Man. He just killed Flood. Therma. You can't be serious just like that. Toga. Way to go, hero. Abi. This kid, he targeted the water guy first because he knew he was the biggest threat. This strategic battle plan, it's like he's a different person. Izuku starts walking towards the other two but notices that he's breathing faster. Izuku. I'm tired. It must be my flames. They're probably draining my life force. It shouldn't be a problem though, since I've got a limitless lifespan. Electric Man. We've got to retreat, we can't beat this guy on our own. Therma. Yeah, let's go. Just when the two turn around to run, they both feel multiple sharp pains in their legs and fall to the ground in pain. Electric Man. Ah, my legs. Therma. Ouch, what is this? Therma pulls a star-shaped object out of her leg. She then brings it to her face, unaware of what's right behind them. Therma. A mirror. Izuku. Yes, it is. Both heroes turn around and see Hero standing right behind them, his mechanical eye giving them a terrifying glare all the while. Electric Man rushes to try and electrocute him, but Izuku punches him in the stomach with a crystallized fist that knocks the wind out of him and causes him to flinch. Electric Man. You little brat, I'm gonna Why can't I activate my… Electric Man didn't get to finish his question because his head had been sliced clean off by Izuku's blade arm. His blood sprayed everywhere and covered Izuku and Therma. Therma began shaking and had tears forming in her eyes. Therma. Please don't kill me. Izuku bent down and gently grasped her chin and looked her dead in the eye with a smile behind his broken mask. Izuku. No survivors. Suddenly, water sprung forth from Izuku's hand and formed around Therma's head. She started suffocating and couldn't free herself. She covered her mouth and nose to stop herself from taking in water. She then felt a finger touch her forehead. She looked up to see Izuku with his mask lifted up and showing a terrifying grin. Izuku then emitted a large surge of electricity, successfully frying the heroine's brain. Izuku. Heroes killed. Mission complete. Heh. Toga then ran up to Izuku and jumped on his back and started hugging him. Toga. Great job, hero. You killed them spectacularly. Izuku. Thanks, Toga-san. Now let's grab Dabi and head back to the base. Dabi was completely in awe of what he just saw and couldn't help but smile at the sight. Dabi. This guy, with him it may be possible. Dabi. Oi, hero right. I wanna make a deal. Izuku. Oh, and what exactly are your demands? And I hope I don't have to remind you of the situation you're currently in. Dabi. You're a smart kid. You took down all those based on threat level. You went for the long-range one first because the other two depended on his quirk. After him, you killed the electric one because his quirk was the most dangerous out of the remaining two. Finally, you killed the last one by using the other two's quirks. Not only that, you managed to use that water bastard's quirk to manipulate the water instead of shooting. You're strategic, talented, and to top it all off, you're a powerhouse. I know I probably couldn't beat you in a fight even though my firepower is greater. You could probably kill anyone if you wanted to. Izuku. What's your point? Dabi. I'll join your League of Villains, but in exchange I want you to help me kill the number 2 hero Endeavor. Izuku. That's quite a big demand. But, it's a goal I can get behind. I can see your hatred of Endeavor in your flames. What are your thoughts, Master? Afo. Accept his demands, Izuku. They shouldn't be too big a problem for the both of you. And give him your name while you're at it. Izuku. Heh. We accept. Izuku then removes Dabi's shackles and extends his hand out for him. Izuku. Welcome to the League of Villains, Dabi. I am Izuku, the League's recruitment agent and ultimate soldier. Toga. And I'm Toga, the League's undercover agent. Dabi. Heh, looking forward to working with you bastards. Dabi slaps Izuku's hand and gives him a smirk as he says this. Afo. Izuku, return to base immediately. And make sure to stay out of sight. Izuku. Understood, Master. Everyone, we are to return to base immediately. Dabi. Who were you talking to? Izuku. Master. Toga. He has a communication device in his head. Dabi. Oh. Afo. One more thing, Izuku, when you get back head straight to my office. I want to speak with you. Izuku. Okay, Master. The three then exit the building and walk towards the stealth vehicle. They get in and start heading back to base. On the road. Dabi. This is a really smooth ride. The person who built this thing must have been a genius. Izuku. Indeed, I was told that the doctor is a highly intelligent scientist. He apparently built my eye and communication device as well. Dabi. That's pretty impressive. By the way. Dabi then points to Toga, who's currently sitting on Izuku's lap and drinking his blood via a plastic tube. Dabi. What the hell are you doing? Toga. I got hungry so I decided to have a snack. Dabi. What? Izuku. Toga-san's favorite snack is my blood. Dabi. Okay, but why are you sitting on his lap? Toga. Because I ordered him to let me. Dabi. Eventually, they make it to the base. They're now on the outside with Izuku knocking on the door. Bing bong. Izuku. Open the door twice. The door then opens to reveal Twice with his new arm attached. Twice. Izu bro, Toga, whoever the buck you are, welcome home. Dabi. The buck is this thing. Izuku. This is Twice, Dabi. He's a member of our assault squad. I should tell you that you're also a member along with me and Toga-san. Dabi. Seriously? With this guy? Twice. Feels bad, doesn't it? Anyways, Izuku, the boss wants to see you. Izuku. I'm aware of that. Izuku starts walking but stops and gives Twice his broken mask. Izuku. Could you possibly fix this for me? I'd be fine with a replacement if you can't fix it. Twice. Leave it to me. Izuku. Thanks. Kurogiri. Kurogiri. I know. Kurogiri then morphs into a portal and Izuku walks in. Izuku reappears in what appears to be a study room. He walks towards a desk, behind which his master sits. Afo. Izuku, have a seat. Izuku proceeds to sit down in a chair in front of the desk while Afo pours 2 glasses of brandy. He then places 1 glass in front of Izuku. Afo. Have a drink. Accepting the offer, Izuku takes a sip. Afo removes his mask and does the same. Afo. Izuku, I'm proud of the progress you've been making regarding your training. I must say, you're becoming everything I envisioned you'd be. Good work. Izuku. Thank you so much, Master. But these praises aren't necessary, I'm simply living up to your expectations. Afo stays silent for a moment before speaking. Afo. Izuku, what do you think of me? Izuku. I think Master is an amazing person. Master raised me, someone with no potential, someone abandoned by the world. Master has given me everything I could ever need and more. Master's quirks, a home and a purpose for living. I owe my life to Master. Afo. Izuku, what was your original quirk? Izuku. I had no quirk before Master granted me one. Afo? You're wrong, Izuku. You were not born quirkless. Izuku? Master? Afo? You didn't notice this because you could never use it on your own. In fact, I too thought you were quirkless before I gave you a quirk. Izuku, you were born with a quirk I call Soul Battery. From what I can tell, that quirk would increase the power of another's quirk at the cost of your life force. If I had never found you, you would probably have been used as a tool until you died. Izuku could only continue to listen to Afo's words because he was still processing everything. Afo? The first quirk I had given you was a simple flame-emitting quirk. When I gave it to you, it combined with your soul battery and became your soul fire quirk. I saw this when I force-activated your quirk. The flames were a miraculous purple instead of a simple red. Of course I noticed your life force seemed to be getting drained because of this, so I gave you my limitless lifespan quirk. Izuku? Why? Without that quirk, Master will die someday. Afo? I have faith in you, Izuku. Afo stood up from his chair and walked around his desk so that he was in front of Izuku. Afo? Izuku, I believe you will surpass me. You showed me that you can earlier. You used that hero's quirk which you had only moments earlier without flaw. You yourself recognized that the hero was using it poorly and you improved upon it by using in a completely different and more efficient manner. Izuku, you saw the true nature of the quirk. Afo then got down on one knee and put his hand on Izuku's shoulder. He saw an image of his brother in Izuku. Afo? Izuku, the quirks you have are your own. By cultivating your mind, you can unlock their true potentials and rise to power. You will defeat those that stand atop the pinnacle of power among both heroes and villains. As my successor, you will take my place as the strongest. You will become a symbol. I myself don't know what kind of symbol you'll become, but I'll be proud regardless. It was at this point that tears began streaming down Izuku's face. There was no sadness on his face though. It was just a regular face. Izuku? Master, I promise to make you proud. I will live up to your expectations and become the strongest. I will make my name heard and I make sure the whole world will come to fear all for one. Afo could only smile hearing these words. Afo? I know you will. Afo then brings Izuku in for a hug and Izuku just embraces it and continues to cry. Unbeknownst to the two of them, however, someone had been listening to their conversation via a stolen communication device. I won't stand for this. I can't allow him to take the place meant for me. I will become the strongest. Then breaks the communicator in their hand by turning it into dust. I'll get rid of him myself if I have to. Third mission. Fathers. It's been almost a year since Izuku joined the League of Villains and he's made quite a name for himself. Hero has been recognized as a threat to the entire hero society. He's known as one of the top villains and is responsible for the deaths of all the heroes ranked between 100 and 210. Countless villains have tried to kill him for fame but ended up getting killed themselves. Izuku's training has strengthened not only his body but also his mastery over his weapons and his quirks. With 30 quirks in his arsenal, he's become a force to be reckoned with. He's currently still in bed. 10 a.m. League of Villains hideout, living quarters. Izuku's room. Alarm clock. Bucking ring, ring, rin. Izuku sits up in bed before blasting the alarm clock with purple fire. Izuku? Ugh, I've got to learn to stop accepting gifts from twice. Izuku proceeds to climb over Toga, get out of the bed, brush his teeth, and get dressed in his villain uniform minus the mask. He then moves to a stove in the room and begins cooking something. Once he's done cooking, he moves back to the bed. Izuku? Himiko-sama, it's time to wake up. Toga? Ugh, 5 more minutes. Izuku? It's time to get ready. Izuku pulls Toga out of bed, brushes her teeth for her, and proceeds to dress her in her villain uniform the same as before, but with a hood instead of sweater and an electronic black mask. He then sits her on a chair next to a table. He proceeds to pour her some coffee and set down a plate of omelette rice for her. He then bites into his thumb and pours his blood on the omelette rice. Izuku? Breakfast is served. Toga? Itadakimasu. Toga takes off her mask and proceeds to dig in. While Toga is busy eating, Izuku proceeds to equip his weapons and eat a few metal bricks. He finishes by sharpening and equipping his sword gun onto his back. He's done getting ready as Toga finishes her meal. Toga? Ah, that was just what I needed. Izuku proceeds to clean up the dishes and get Toga her weapons. Izuku? Himiko-sama, it's time to meet up with the others. Toga? Alright, let's go. Izuku and Toga exit the room and walk down the hall to the bar. They enter the bar and are met with the other Assault team members, Dabi and Twice, as well as the Vanguard team members, Spinner, Magni, and Mr. Compress. Twice. Hey, Izuku bro, Toga, you guys are finally here. You're up so early today. Dabi. Why the hell does it take you guys so long to get here when you sleep down the hall? Magni. It's called youth, Dabi. You'd understand what it's like if you weren't so depressing. Dabi. Shut it, you trans bastard. Impress. Settle down, you two. It's too early in the morning for this. Izuku. Where are the others? Magni. Hino and Katsuragi said they had some business to take care of. Izuku. I see, Enrin. Impress. No idea. Kurogiri. I saw her come out of your room this morning. She left without saying a word about where she was going. Toga. Good, we don't need her here anyways. Twice. Feeling threatened, are we? Toga. Shut up, Cyborg. Twice. I'll have you know that I prefer to be called Terminator or Robopool. Dabi. You're like bloody children. Magni. And you're an old man. Dabi. Piss off. Impress. Sai, why do I even think there's any point in trying to talk some sense into you guys? Spinner. Hey boss, what's the schedule for today? Izuku. Do not call me boss, that title is meant for Tamura-sama. As for today's plan, I still need to meet with Master. Kurogiri. Kurogiri. Say no more. Kurogiri proceeds to turn himself into a large portal behind Izuku. Izuku. I will return shortly with today's tasks. Izuku walks through the portal, leaving the others behind in the bar. Toga. By the way, where is Tamura? Dabi. Beats me. Twice. He said he was going out for a walk or something. Impress. Since when does he take walks? Twice. Who the hell cares? Spinner. Yeah, I don't really see any need to pay attention to that guy. Izuhiro is more of a boss than him. Dabi. Don't underestimate him. He's not someone you should take lightly. Twice. And why's that? Dabi. I've got a feeling. Twice. Really? A feeling? Magni. You're overreacting. Besides, Izu seems to trust him, so he can't be that bad. Dabi. Whatever. Izu was ordered to be obedient to Tamura, so of course he'd trust him. I can't though. He's up to something, I can feel it. Meanwhile, Izuku had just teleported into a dark room. Kurogiri. I'll wait for you here. Izuku. Thank you. Izuku proceeds to walk towards a person who's hooked up to some medical equipment and sitting in front of a computer monitor. He kneels down on one knee next to the seat the person's sitting in. Izuku. Master, I have arrived. Afo. Ah, Izuku. On time as always. Izuku. How has your condition been faring, Master? Afo. I'm fine, Izuku. My body has just grown a bit weaker. Izuku. That's wonderful news to hear, Master. Afo. Heh, as caring as always. You should be more concerned about your own condition, Izuku. Izuku. My physical condition bears no significance, your health is all that matters, Master. Afo. You need to learn to value your own life. Now then, you came here for today's missions, yes? Izuku. Yes, Master. Afo. Then let's start with the Vanguard team's mission. We'll be needing a large amount of numbers for a mission in the near future. The Vanguard team will be tasked with recruiting thugs. The quality and skill is not important. We just need as many as we can get. Have them teleported to the training area. Izuku. Understood, I will inform them of their task. What of my assault team? Afo. I have a special mission for your team. You see, a certain high-ranking hero has returned from his outpost in King City, China. This a perfect opportunity to eliminate a powerful threat to the League. Do you understand, Izuku? Izuku. Yes, Master. What is the name of the hero you want me to eliminate? Afo. He's rank 67 among the pro heroes and bears the hero name, Jade Dragon. Your target is the No. 2 flame hero, Hisashi Midoriya. You and your team will travel to his hero agency in Asuha City and kill Hisashi Midoriya. Izuku. Understood, Master. We will leave immediately. Izuku gets up and proceeds to leave. Afo. One more thing, Izuku. Izuku. Yes, Master. Afo. Hero will not be participating in this mission. You will fight and kill Hisashi yourself. Izuku. Understood, Master. Afo. Good. You're free to go. Izuku bows and walks towards Kurogiri. The doctor takes this opportunity to approach Afo. Doctor? That's quite the mission you've given him, Master. Given what happened during the last mission, are you sure it's okay to send him on a mission so dangerous so soon? Afo? It's dangerous but necessary. And regarding Izuku's physical condition, he should be fine since you helped with his recovery. Doctor? I see. By the way, what exactly is the real purpose of this mission? Afo? Several months ago, on the day Twice and Dabi had been recruited, Izuku told me about something that had transpired. He had apparently rescued a girl from being raped by several men. He went as far as taking her to the hospital and giving her a gold brick and golden necklace. He also mentioned that she referred to him as her hero and that this caused something inside of him to flare up. Doctor? I assume this proves a problem. AFO? It seems that the reprogramming was more of a failure than I thought. His old personality still lingers somewhere within his mind. His generosity and determination to be a hero managed to survive. On top of this, there's a chance he could remember everything. Doctor? I can see why you'd be concerned about this. Although I'm fairly confident that he won't regain his memories. I used a Nomu's quirk to rewrite his original memories. Remembering what's been overwritten is impossible. AFO? In any event, today's mission will confirm whether what you say is true. If Izuku is able to kill Hisashi, his father, without hesitation, then we'll be able to determine what to do with him. Doctor? I see, well then, let's see how this plays out. Back with Izuku, he's currently standing in front of Kurogiri. Izuku. Kurogiri, my mask. Kurogiri. Understood. Kurogiri creates a small portal through which Izuku puts his hand in. Izuku pulls his hand out along with a red mask. Izuku then walks through Kurogiri and reappears at the bar. Twice. Izu bro, you're back. Abi. He's got the mask, looks like we've got another job. Compress. What's today's show Izuku? Izuku. Vanguard team, I need you to go and gather as many low-tier thugs as you possibly can, at least 100. They will be required for a mission in the near future. Kurogiri, you will accompany the Vanguard team and teleport those they recruit into the training facility. You are to begin immediately. Compress. Got it. Let's go guys. Spinner. Yeah, go time. Agni. See you guys later. Kurogiri. We will return once the mission is complete. Kurogiri and the Vanguard team walk out the door leaving Izuku and the assault team. Abi. So, what are we gonna do today? Twice. Quirk hunting. Toga. Larceny. Abi. Abduction. Izuku. Assassination. Abi. That's not what I expected, but whatever. Twice. So who's the target? Izuku. The hero rank 67 among the pros. The Jade Dragon, Hisashi Midoriya. Toga. Whoa, we're going after a big shot today. Abi. Any particular reason we're going after a top 100? Izuku. Opportunity. He has recently returned from his outpost in China. As a potential threat, it is in the league's best interest to eliminate him. Abi. I guess I can kind of see the reasoning behind this mission, but I still don't really have any motivation for this. But it's not like I can turn down the mission. So where is he? Izuku. According to Master, he's currently in his hero agency in Asuha City. We are to travel there immediately. Toga. In bright daylight. Is that really the best idea? Izuku. Master's orders. Also. Izuku proceeds to look at his team with a confident smirk. Izuku. There are no other big tier heroes stationed in Asuha. If anyone tries to get in our way, we'll simply kill them too. Abi. That I can look forward to. So what's the plan? How do we kill this guy? Izuku. You three will not be fighting Hisashi. I will fight him myself. Twice. Now hold on a minute, why would you want to fight this guy yourself? Toga. Yeah, isn't that a bit much for you? Izuku. Master's orders. I will fight Hisashi Midoriya myself and without the use of hero. Abi. Something's off your master's orders, huh? Guess that's how it is. Izuku. Yes, that's how it is. Toga. Let's get going then. Twice. To the Batmobile. Ab. Stop doing that. Twice. I shan't. Izuku. Enough. Abi and Twice get interrupted by a burst of blue fire coming in between them. They both turn to look at Izuku who's holding his hand in front of him. They can see a ball of blue fire floating in his hand. The ball then turns purple before it disappears as Izuku forms a fist with his hand. Izuku. Honestly, I wish you two wouldn't bicker, especially before a mission as important as this. Abi. It's only natural since I don't like this clown. Twice. Besides, the mission hasn't started yet. We're still waiting on the signal phrase. Izuku. Sigh, of course you are. Izuku walks between the two with Toga following behind. He puts on his mask before uttering. Izuku. Mission, start. Assault team. Roger that. 12:30 a.m., Asuha City, front of the Jade Dragon Agency. A large group of people wearing costumes can be seen standing in front of the entrance and facing a man with carrying a suitcase. Several of the men were shedding a few tears as one of them walked up to the man. Thank you for all you've done for us, sir. I'll do my best to ensure that the agency will live up to the standards you established. Don't bow down to me, Crust. You're the new leader of this agency, so stand tall. Crust stands back up as the man turns around and begins walking away. He lifts his free hand up to wave goodbye. See ya, 68. Crust begins crying and quickly bows again in the direction the man is walking in. Crust. Thank you, sir, we wish you luck on your retirement. The man simply walks on hearing this without turning around. After half an hour of walking, the man pulls out a cigarette and lights it using a green flame he emitted from his mouth. Now where was the terminal? It's been about a year since I've been here. I should have asked Crust to give me directions. The man keeps walking on as people begin staring at him in awe. He ignores their stares and pulls out his phone to look up the train station location. Before he can though, his phone starts ringing. He lets out a sigh before answering the call. Hello? Hey Hisashi, it's Jack. Hisashi, oh Jack. It's been a while, how have you been? Jack. Oh, I've been doing fine. Being able to help heroes like you is quite fulfilling and all. Hisashi. That reminds me, thanks for those goggles you sent me, they really help. Jack. It's no problem, you did pay for them after all. So, how's your retirement been going? Hisashi. How did you know I was retiring? Jack. How did I know? It's all over the news. From China to here in less than a day, the media's been all over the case of your retirement. Hisashi. You've gotta be kidding me. I tell one hero in China about my retirement and they send it to the bucking media. Hell, I haven't even fully resigned yet. Jack. Well, what do you expect, you are a top 100, of course the news would make any information about you big in less than a day. Hisashi. Sigh, you know, I've gotta learn to not trust rookie heroes to keep a secret. Anyways, what warrants the call? Jack. I just wanted to know if you were alright. You cut off your 3-year contract 2 years early just so you could return home and you just decided to retire out of nowhere. I can't help but feel that this is. Hisashi. About Izuku, right? Jack. Oh my god, Hisashi, I didn't mean to. Hisashi. It's alright Jack. You're right anyways. Hisashi, still on the call, sat down on a nearby bench. He let out a puff before continuing. Hisashi. I really was one hell of a horrible father, you know. Jack. Hisashi. Hisashi. I was barely involved in his childhood. I can't remember how many birthdays I missed, I can't count how many times he called me to wish me a happy Father's Day, hell, I don't even remember his favorite color. Whenever he called me to talk about wanting to be a hero or his bullying, I always responded with hang in there, champ. Jack. That doesn't mean. Hisashi. Crying, I only learned that he died a week after the accident and I heard about it on the goddamn local news. Inko tried calling me over 100 times, but I didn't pick up the phone because I was busy with work. I'm a pathetic excuse for a human, much less a father and husband. Inko would be better off finding another. Jack. Hisashi. Hisashi flinches hearing Jack's sudden outburst. Jack. It's true that you could have been a better father and husband, but you did the best you could. You took the 3-year contract in China so you could earn more money to support your family. You trained yourself as a teenager to make it into the top 100 just so you could make enough money to afford a house for you and Inko. Hell, you even lied to your own son about his power so he wouldn't die trying to be a hero. Hisashi. Jack. Jack. Hisashi, none of what happened was your fault. There was nothing anyone could have done to prevent it. You need to stop this from holding you back and move on. Inko and Izu still need you after all. Hisashi, moved by Jack's words, wipes away his tears before putting on a smile. Hisashi. Damn it Jack, you always know what to say to cheer me up. Jack. Heh, you're welcome. Hisashi. You're right, you know. I need to be there for them. I wasn't there to be with Inko when she needed me, so I need to be there for her now. Jack. That's the Hisashi I know. Hisashi. Heh, good to hear that. By the way, I wanted to thank you for attending Izuku's funeral in my stead. You really helped Inko get through it. Jack. Hey, we're brothers aren't we? It's our job to look out for each other. Hisashi. Brothers, I wonder if Izuku would have been happy to be one. Meanwhile, on top of the 20-story building across the street. Izuku. Achoo. Toga. Are you okay, Izu-kun? Abi. So even the invincible soldier isn't immune to the common cold. Twice. Oh, the possible irony. Izuku. I'm fine. Toga. You're sure you don't want a kiss to make you feel better? Twice. You know when you say that while wearing that mask, it kinda makes me feel like you're about to murder someone. Toga. Say that again and I just might. Twice. Whoa, someone sensitive. Toga. Ugh, why do I even have to wear this dumb mask? Izuku. It's necessary to conceal your identity. You're only recognizable as a villain by name, so we should keep your face hidden. Toga. Well, what about Dabi, he doesn't wear a mask. Dabi. I don't need to. My face itself is a mask and there's no one behind it. Twice. Depressing and cryptic, just like poetry. Dabi. Sigh anyways, that's the guy right? Twice. Looking through binoculars, yep, he matches the description from Izubro's notebook. Toga. Taking the binoculars, say, doesn't this guy kinda remind you of someone? Dabi. Now that you mention it. Twice. He kinda looks like. Izuku. We're wasting time. Dabi, let's make our presence known. Dabi. Heh, it's about time. Izuku and Dabi stand next to each other on the ledge of the building. Izuku holds his hand out to Dabi and creates a solid-looking ball of purple fire. The ball then bursts into a blue flame that hovers in Izuku's palm. Dabi places his hand over the flame and adds his own fire to it. This results in a massive blue fireball which the two proceed to hold above themselves. The two then throw the ball down at Hisashi. Hisashi. So, made any progress with that director of yours? Jack. Huh. There's nothing going on between us. Hisashi. Hahaha, you're way too old to act like this. For God's sake man, you're almost him. Hisashi looks up to see a giant blue fireball heading straight at him. Sighing, he throws his cigarette on the ground before standing up. Hisashi. Jack, I'm gonna have to call you back. Jack. Hisashi, what's going? Hisashi stops the call before looking at the fireball and taking a deep breath. He then breathes out a massive green flame that completely engulfs the two fire users' combined fireball. Hisashi then throws his suitcase to the side before addressing the panicking masses. Hisashi. Everyone evacuate the area immediately, villains are attacking. The masses follow the words of the pro-hero and proceed to evacuate. Hisashi looks up at the source of the fireball and sees the four figures looking down at him. Hisashi. Of course something like this happens the day I retire. Izuku. Let's go. Without another, Izuku jumps off the building. Assault team, yes sir. The other three follow Izuku's lead and jump off the building after him. While falling, Izuku starts emitting purple fire from both his hands. He then spins, which creates a tower of purple flames that crashes into the ground and surrounds him and the others. Izuku. Fire pillar. Hisashi stands completely unfazed by the flames with an unamused look on his face. Hisashi. What a flashy entrance. The pillar disperses to reveal the four league members standing on guard and glaring at Hisashi. Hisashi. 4 against 1, huh? Seems the odds are stacked against me. Izuku. I'm setting up the glass box. You know what to do. Dabi. Yeah, we know. Toga. Leave it to us. Twice. Let's bounce. Toga and Dabi dash away from the left of Izuku while Twice dashes from the right. As soon as they get far away enough, Izuku starts emitting water from his hands. The water forms in the shape of a giant box the height of the building he jumped off from that encloses him and Hisashi. The water then freezes in shape and begins to crystallize. Izuku proceeds to step forward and break his hands free from the frozen streams. Hisashi. I know I said 4 against 1 seems unfair, but 1-on-1 makes it seem like you're underestimating me. Izuku. I'm not underestimating you, it's just obvious that you're no match for me. Hisashi. That's so. By the way, judging from the red hair and mask, you're the villain named Hero, aren't you? I've heard a lot about you. You've killed all the heroes ranked 100 till 210. Izuku. Happy to know my work has caught the eyes of a top 100. Hisashi. You know, among those heroes were some that had pretty unique quirks. Diamante. The crystal hero, Therma. The temperature heroine and Flood. The water pressure hero. According to police records from 7 months ago, Therma was killed by someone possessing both a water and electric quirk, as evident by the water that was found in her lungs and the burn mark on her forehead that suggested electrical damage. Flood had his head incinerated, and Electric Man, who was with them both when they died, had his head cut clean off. Correct me if I'm wrong, but aside from the electrical damage, you just exhibited the powers necessary for those executions. Not only that, but you just used Therma, Flood, and Diamante's quirks. I'm gonna go out on a whim here and say that you have a quirk that allows you to steal the quirks of others and that you've been using it to steal the quirks of the heroes you've killed. So, am I anywhere in the ballpark or is my theory bogus? Izuku narrows his eyes and has a ticked-off look on his face from behind his mask. Izuku. This bastard, he's more intelligent than I gave him credit for. Not only that, he's extremely analytical. He was able to deduce my quirk hunting process and the nature of all for one from me, simply using those 4 quirks. I can see why Master considers him a threat. Hisashi. Your silence means I'm right on the money, aren't I? So, can I assume the reason you're here is because you're after my quirk? If so then go ahead and try to take it from me. Izuku. Believe me, even if I could, I wouldn't need it. Break. We interrupt this fanfic to bring you a message from the creator. Tora. Greetings, I'm Tora Tetsuya aka KingJoka. Don't worry, this'll be quick. I'm just here to explain a little bit about All for One. In order for Izuku to steal someone's quirk, certain conditions have to be met. 1. Izuku can only steal a quirk when in direct contact with the target. 2. In order for the target's quirk to be stolen, the target has to be either scared, caught off guard, willing to lose their quirk, or close to death. 3. The target has to be alive. 4. That's about it. Tora. You may be wondering why I'm thinning out all for one so much. Well, if simply touching a person was enough to steal a quirk, then there wouldn't really be any decent fights now, would there? Also, something to bear in mind about crystal is that Izuku can't crystallize liquids. That may sound insignificant now, but trust me, it'll fill in a lot of plot holes in the future. Tora. Lastly, if you see any quirk explanations, it's me talking. I can't afford the medical bills every time Present Mick bursts my eardrums. Resume. Hisashi. So you're not here for my quirk. Izuku. No, I came here for one reason only. Izuku proceeds to ignite his hands with purple flames and point them at Hisashi. Izuku. To kill you. Hisashi. Kill me, huh? Sigh, you really are underestimating me. Well, whatever, might as well end my last day as a hero with a bang. Izuku. Just so you know, this won't just be your last day as a hero. Hisashi. Big words. Let's see if you can live up to them. Dragon breath. Izuku. Mirror flame. Hisashi breathes out a large green fire stream in Izuku's direction. Izuku manages to block this attack by putting up a wall of purple flames in front of him. Hisashi. Salamander spike. Hisashi spits out a smaller, more concentrated blast of green fire in the form of a spike that goes straight through Izuku's flame wall and heads right for him. Izuku manages to block the attack by crystallizing his arm and using it as a shield, but he gets knocked back into the crystal wall by the sheer force. Hisashi. Your flames are weak. They have no chance of defending against mine. Izuku. We'll see about that. Cobalt spiral. Izuku emits a strand of blue flames from his left palm that forms a coil in front of him. Izuku then thrusts his arm forward, which causes the flames to uncoil and shoot out towards Hisashi at high speeds like a lance. Hisashi sidesteps out of the way and makes a mad dash towards Izuku. In response, Izuku pulls his arm back, which causes the flame to whip back. Hisashi sees the flame move along with Izuku's arm and cartwheel jumps over the flame. Izuku, in annoyance, stops his flames and points his right arm at Hisashi. Izuku. Mechanization. Gats. Piece by piece, Izuku's arm begins transforming into a machine. After fully transforming into a machine, Izuku transforms his forearm into the barrel of a Gatling gun. Quirk 28. Mechanization. This quirk allows the user to transform any part of their body into a machine. By making use of the materials stored in him via Munch, Izuku can add on to and alter the mechanized parts of his body. Izuku. Eat lead. Izuku unleashes a barrage of bullets at Hisashi, who runs out of the way to avoid them. Izuku tracks Hisashi's movements and can see that he's closing the distance while dodging. Izuku. He's trying to get close rail. Izuku holds his left arm out with his palm open and facing forward. His forearm mechanizes before turning into a railgun. Sparks fly as he then fires a shot at Hisashi, who defies logic and avoids it by jumping up. While in the air, Hisashi breathes emerald flames down on Izuku. To defend from the flames, Izuku shoots a stream of water out from his left eye, which blocks off the flames. Hisashi cuts off his flame stream and lands in front of Izuku with his arm cocked back. Looking to block the incoming attack, Izuku changes his arms back to normal before crossing and crystallizing them. Unfortunately for Izuku, Hisashi instead swept at his legs, which caused Izuku to lose his footing. Hisashi then elbows Izuku in the throat, which sends him flying back into a car that got caught in the glass box. Hisashi. What's the matter? Arms too stiff to try and block? I thought you would have realized the drawback of Diamante's quirk. You know how the body parts stay fixed while they're crystallized. Out of the car burst several objects that hover in the air. Upon closer inspection, Hisashi can see that they appear to be a type of drone. Izuku. Artillery. Hisashi. Drone warfare, huh? Izuku. Air raid. The center of the drones begins to start glowing. One of the drones then fires a laser from its glowing center. Hisashi manages to dodge this, but then realizes what's coming. He begins hastily trying to dodge the lasers being fired at him while Izuku stands and watches. Izuku proceeds to hold his hand up in front of him and forms a fist. Izuku. Boost. Izuku's fist seems to turn a metallic black. This coloration starts spreading until his whole arm is black. Izuku. Power drive. The glowing red star forms on the back of Izuku's hand. Izuku then dashes at Hisashi with his arm cocked. Izuku throws a punch which Hisashi manages to block. The force of the punch, however, causes Hisashi to get knocked back against the crystal wall. Quirk 19. Boost. Allows the user to boost either the power or defense of two of his limbs. The limbs the user is boosting will, for some reason, turn black. A boost in power is indicated by a glowing red star, while a boost in defense is indicated by a glowing blue ring. Hisashi. Little brat that hurt Drake wave. Hisashi unleashes a horizontal line of fire as that stretches from wall to wall. Izuku crosses and crystallizes his forearms to defend from the attack. Izuku. Boost. Defense drive. Izuku's crystallized arms turn black and glowing blue rings can be seen on the back of his hands. The flames clash hard against Izuku's arms, but he manages to hold his ground. Using Izuku's distraction as an opening, Hisashi rushes in with his fist ready. Hisashi throws a punch aimed at Izuku's face, but Izuku dodges by bending his torso backwards at a perfect 90° angle. Hisashi looks down as Izuku gives off a smile behind his mask. Izuku. Gotcha. Hisashi raises an eyebrow before his eyes widen from feeling a sharp pain pierce his torso. He looks down to see a laser coming from Izuku's torso and going straight through his. Izuku. Looks like you fell for that laser trick of mine. Quirk 29. Laser. This quirk lets the user emit a laser from the surface of their skin. Only one laser of about 5 centimeters in diameter can be fired at a time though. And. Quirk 16. Bone shift. Lets the user freely manipulate the bones in their body. This allows for incredible flexibility and is useful for avoiding the breaking of bones. Izuku. Those drones of mine have pieces of my skin implanted in them. That's how they fire their lasers. Now you better brace yourself cause I'm not done yet. Izuku's shirt bursts open to reveal several arms coming out of his back that hold Hisashi in place. 2 more arms spring forth and stab Hisashi in the sides using Izuku's daggers. Quirk 13. Clay skin. Allows the user to stretch their skin into pseudo-limbs. These limbs however don't have bones so they can't make decent attacks or take a hit. Izuku. Smiling power drive black rush muta 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 muta. Izuku unleashes a barrage of crystallized black punches to Hisashi's stomach. The barrage ends with a heavy punch to the gut that sends Hisashi flying and crashing into the crystal ceiling. Hisashi falls back down to the floor with a thud. Meanwhile, on the outside of the ceiling. Twice. Did you guys hear that? Toga. Yeah, sounds like the fight is getting serious. Abi. That's only to be expected of one of Izuya's fights. Toga. True. Anyways, whose turn is it? Twice. Mine. Got any twos Toga? Toga. Go fish. Twice. Draws a card 21 that's blackjack. Abi. We're supposed to be playing poker. Hisashi-san. Abi. Twice. What in Buck's name was that? Toga. I'll go check. Toga walks over to the edge of the glass box and sees an unknown man crust punching against the crystal with giant shields on his arms. Toga. Looks like we've got company. Abi. Well, who is it? Twice walks next to Toga and peers over the edge. He holds his arm in front of him which produces a holographic screen. After scrolling through the virtual screen for a few minutes, Twice grunts in confusion. Twice. He's not in Izu Bro's top 100 virtual hero book. He's not in any of the other books either. Toga. He's probably an up-and-coming hero. Abi. A hero, huh? Twice, you deal with him. Twice. It shall be done, sire. Twice proceeds to dive off the glass box head first. His head clashes with Crust's which causes both of them to fall down. Crust stands back up to see Twice already back on his feet. Twice. Good evening. Crust. Where is Hisashi-san? Twice. Oh, he's fighting against our boss in this incredibly large and obvious box. Crust creates a shield on his arm and aggressively points it at Twice. Crust. Release him at once. Twice. Well, you see, I can't exactly do that for 3 reasons. 1. My boss is busy fighting in there and he doesn't want any help. 2. That box behind me is made of a crystal that only my boss can break. And 3. I'm too busy roasting your ass to do anything else. Twice says as his arm transforms into a cannon which fires a laser at Crust. Crust uses his shield to block the beam before charging at Twice. Twice dodges Crust by flipping over him. Twice. Let's make this quick. I've got a card game to get back to. Battle cry. We now cut to Toga who's peeking over the top of the glass box. Toga. Looks like Twice is getting into it. Abi. Aside from all his idiotic antics, he's got several good traits. Fighting included. Don't tell him I said that. Come on, we're switching to speed. You shuffle. Toga. Alright, fine. Toga sits back down and begins shuffling the deck. As she does this, Dabi notices a small shadow between them. The shadow grows larger which causes Dabi to look up. His eyes then widen as his jaw drops. Dabi. Motherfu. Back to Izuku. Izuku can currently be seen standing in front of the downed body of Hisashi Midoriya. Izuku's left eye lights up as he scans over Hisashi. Izuku. Still alive, eh? I can fix that. Elsewhere, All For One and the doctor are watching the events unfold via Izuku's eye camera. Doctor? So far so good. Izuku hasn't shown any mercy or signs of remembering. He's about to go in for the kill as well. At this point, I'd say it's safe to assume that his memories are truly non-existent. Eifo watches on without saying a word. Back with Izuku, he's brought his drones close in and having them surround Hisashi. The drones begin charging as Izuku watches on coldly. Izuku, farewell Hisashi Midoriya. Before the drones can fire their lasers however, they all get pierced by green lances that appear from underneath Hisashi. Izuku, taken back by this, gets stabbed in the shoulder by one as well. The drones, as well as Izuku's shirt and wound, then seem to catch fire. Izuku? What the hell? Izuku tries to pull the lance out of his arm, but it just phases through and burns his hand. This causes Izuku to pull his hand back in pain. Hisashi? Why so surprised? Although I guess it only makes sense. Hisashi stands up to reveal a green streak of flame coming out his mouth that connects to the lances. He pulls the two daggers out of his sides whilst staring at Izuku with an indifferent gaze. Hisashi. Not many people know the true nature of my quirk. How about I explain? With my quirk, Dragon Soul, I can emit and manipulate flames as I see fit. An example, my flames can cause physical impacts as if they were a solid. That shoulder of yours probably told you that though. Izuku? Bastard. Izuku proceeds to rip off his burnt clothes and breaks off a part of his mask to reveal his mouth. He then opens his mouth and a large purple cloud of smoke spews forth. This makes Hisashi jump back and causes the flames to recede. Quirk 14. Toxicity. Allows the user to breath out poison gas and turn their bodily fluids into toxins. Izuku grasps his shoulder and can feel the hole in it. The smoke slowly clears and Izuku gasps as he sees Hisashi protected inside a ball of green flames. The flame ball disperses as Hisashi looks on with an unamused look. Hisashi. Just so you know, stuff like this isn't gonna work on me. You're supposed to be smart, right? I thought someone capable of killing the 100s would be able to realize something like that. Maybe you're not as dangerous as everyone says. Izuku grits his teeth in anger before cocking his arm back. Izuku. Shut the buck up. Izuku starts throwing a punch which confuses Hisashi. The distance between the two was too great for the punch to land. Suddenly, Izuku's arm transforms into that of a gorilla and manages to land a punch on Hisashi in the face. Quirk 15. Anima. Grants the user the ability to transform into an animal or man-animal hybrid. Hisashi. Son of a how many quirks does this guy have? Izuku picks up one of his downed drones and proceeds to throw it at Hisashi. In response, Hisashi breathes fire at it. Izuku. Shambles. In the next instance, the drone gets replaced by a black substance in the same shape as it. As soon as the object makes contact with the flames, it erupts into an explosion that blows Hisashi back. Quirk 30. Material shift. Allows the user to swap the material composition of any two objects he touches consecutively. If one object consists of less materials than the other, then it will only get replaced by the amount it takes up. E.g. if a block consisting of 400 grams steel were replaced by a block of 300 grams copper, then only 300 grams of the steel block would be swapped. By combining this quirk with Munch, Izuku can swap the materials of any object he touches with the materials he has stored with Munch. Hisashi. What's quirk, huh? So he steals villain quirks too. Firefly. Hisashi breathes out a stream of flames that transforms into several small green fireballs. The fireballs fly up close to Izuku's face. In the next split second, the fireballs explode as Izuku manages to crystallize his face and mask just in time. Izuku wipes the smoke away from his face, only to reveal Hisashi right in front of him. Izuku's eyes widen and before he can do anything, Hisashi lands a kick on him in the gut. Izuku staggers back a bit before clutching his stomach and mouth. Unable to hold it in, Izuku vomits a large amount of blood onto the ground. He gets down on his hands and knees while still vomiting blood. Hisashi looks at Izuku's state confused. Hisashi. What the? I didn't kick you that hard, did I? Or is it that your organs are made of glass? Izuku pants on the ground while Eifo and the doctor watch the sight through Izuku's eye camera. Doctor? I was afraid of this. Eifo? Looks like his recovery hadn't gone as smoothly as I'd heard. Doctor? I warned him about this. I warned him to take rest for several days so his body could successfully recover. Should we call him back? Eifo? No, the others are still there and he's anyways out of our warp range. Besides, he won't lose to Hisashi. Even if he can't move after killing him, they will make sure he makes it back here alive. Prepare the Nomu in one of the capsules. Doctor? Right away, master. The doctor proceeds to go do his task as Afo remains to watch the fight. We now cut to Twice, who's still fighting Crust. Twice blasts Crust several times, but they got blocked by his shields. Twice. Hey guys, this hombre is tougher than I thought. I could use a hand here. Dobby. Piss off, we've got our own problem to deal with. Up on the roof, Dobby and Toga were fighting against what appeared to be a giant dragon. Dobby blasts the beast with his flames, but it gets overpowered by the beast's own flames. Toga attacks with her needles, but they bounce off the beast's scales. Toga. Her scales are too tough to break through. Dobby. And her flames are on the same level as mine. Little shits, release Hisashi immediately. Toga. What the hell is a top 10 doing here anyways? I heard about Hisashi's retirement and was on my way to celebrate with him. Now you better release him before I eat you both. Dobby. Retirement. Back with Twice, he's currently backed up against the wall of the glass box. Crust was a few feet away and charging at him with his shield. Twice. So this is how I die. I always thought it would have been because of rectal trauma. Twice closes his eyes and braces for the inevitable. Sand coffin. Crust stops in place as he gets covered in a huge mountain of sand. Sand burial. The sand flattens and Twice stares, completely confused by the sight in front of him. Quite the mess you've gotten yourself into, Twice. Twice looks to his right to see a tall teenager wearing a medical mask and a hoodie. Twice. Hino, you giraffe bastard, I'm so glad you're here. Hino. The hell are you calling a giraffe bastard? Twice. The hell have you been all day? Hino. I took Katsuragi to the hospital before heading into town for a supply run. I saw what you guys were doing on a TV in town and figured you'd need some help. Twice. Oh. Wait, why did Katsuragi have to go to the hospital? Hino. Anemia. Twice. Man, Yamana. Hino. Damn it, I walked right into that one. Twice. Yes, you did. As the two continue to conversate, Crust bursts out from the sand, which scares Twice into Hino's arms. Hino looks down at Twice while Twice looks up at Hino. Twice. You're supposed to say zoinks. Hino. And you're supposed to be a man. Crust. Give Hisashi-san back. Twice. Ah, do something. Hino. Don't worry, he's on it. The sand around Crust starts coming together and forms a giant humanoid sand golem. The golem slaps Crust and sends him crashing into a nearby building. The golem then turns to look at Twice and Hino. Twice. Sandman. It's me, Twice. Twice. Katsuragi. You glorious amalgamation of dried earth, you've saved us. Katsuragi. Glad to help. Where's big bro? Twice. He's in the crystal cube behind us. Wait, that reminds me, the others are up there fighting Ryukyu. We gotta go help him. Katsuragi. Let's not. That guy will probably come back soon. Hino. Besides, they've got backup. Twice. What do you mean? Hino. We ran into her at the hospital. Twice. Her, oh, I see what you mean. Back with Dobby and Toga, the two were still busy fighting against the dragon heroine. Dobby was caught in a power struggle with his flames going up against hers. The two are evenly matched and caught in a stalemate. That is until. Great eruption. The dragon gets blasted in the face by red-hot magma. This causes her to pull back. Dobby and Toga look at the source of the magma to see a girl wearing a black mask reminiscent of Izuku's and a black tank top standing with an arm covered in magma. Taking on a top 10, how bold of you two. Dobby. Rin. Toga. You Hitch, where the hell have you been all day? Rin. Piss off, shitty vampire, I've been feeling sick, so I went to see a doctor. Toga. Who are you calling a shitty vampire, you ugly leech? Rin. You disgusting, disease-spreading, inhumane mosquito. Dobby. Enough, in case you both forgot, there is a dragon right there trying to kill us. T&R. Oh yeah. It is at this moment that said dragon appears behind the two females. Ryukyu. You little shit, that stuff really burned. Ryukyu proceeds to try and breathe fire down on the two masked girls, but they both manage to jump out of the way. Rin. Looks like I'll be taking first blood. Toga. TCH, fine. Rin proceeds to jump over Ryukyu and land on her back next to her wing. She then stands on one leg with the other raised up and straightened out. Rin. Boost. Power drive, crystallization leg, sharpen, soul flame. Devil's foot. As she says this, Rin's leg turns black, crystallizes, sharpens, gains a glowing red star on her foot and gets engulfed in a purple flame. She then swings her leg and cuts Ryukyu's wing clean off. Ryukyu. AHHHH, my wing. Rin proceeds to jump off of Ryukyu's back and land in front of the others. Rin. By the way, where's Zuzu? Dobby. Stamps on the roof, where the hell do you think? Rin. Oh, I guess that makes sense. Dobby. Oi, how much you got left in the tank? Brin. I should still be good for another half hour, why? Abby. You scan to see how things are going in there. Brin. Alright. Scan. Focus. Brin proceeds to squat down and look beneath her. Her eyes then glow a bright blue. Brin. I can see the auras of two living beings in there. Abby. So he's not done yet, strange. Brin. Who's he fighting anyways? Toga. The Jade Dragon. Brin. Really? You sure he doesn't need our help? Abby. He fights alone, boss's orders. Toga. To last against Izuku for so long. Is this guy really only a top 100? Brin. Can't I just break into this thing and check up on him? Abby. Like I said, he fights alone. Besides, we're not done here. Ryukyu. Roar. Brin. Oh yeah. Well then it's time to get real. Toga. Let's roast this overgrown gecko. Abby. Hell yeah. Back to Izuku. Izuku can be seen crouching and clutching his gut while Hisashi watches the sight before him. Hisashi. I don't know what's going on with you here, but it seems like our little skirmish here has come to an end. Guess I'll knock you out and take you in. Hisashi moves in to strike Izuku, who hasn't moved at all. Just as he's about to strike, Izuku grabs his arm without looking up. Izuku. Don't underestimate me. Hisashi looks down at Izuku unimpressed. Out of the corner of his eye, Hisashi notices something coming at him from above. He jumps back, narrowly avoiding the object that crashes into the ground. Hisashi looks up to see what tried to attack him and can see what appears to be a purple skeletal arm connected to half a purple ribcage that's surrounding Izuku. The fist of the arm rises from the ground to reveal a scorched fist-shaped crater. Hisashi. That's just like my flame lances. Izuku proceeds to slowly stand back up from the ground with his eyes shadowed. As he's standing back up, purple flames begin surrounding Izuku and form the full ribcage and other arm. The flames spread even more to become an upper skeletal body. The right arm and shoulder seem to sprout muscle fibers, and the skull grows horns. The right forearm then gets covered by skin, and the skull gains two glowing yellow eyes. Izuku then proceeds to look up, which reveals him smiling a twisted smile with his eyes looking insane. Izuku. I've never felt this much rage before. Hisashi. It's like looking at another person. And these flames, they're so intense. Izuku. Boost. Power overdrive. Izuku's right arm turns black and a glowing red star forms on the back of his hand. His fingertips and fingers then turn blood red with a flame pattern at the bases of the fingers. Red cracks also form all over Izuku's arm, which appears to have bulked up. Izuku then lunges forward at an incredible speed. Hisashi. Rapid fire. Hisashi lets out a barrage bullet-like fire shots. Izuku, however, manages to either swiftly dodge them or deflect them by using the skeleton. Hisashi. What's going on? His movements are different than before and he's much faster. In a split second, Izuku appears right in front of Hisashi. Izuku then punches Hisashi, who proceeds to try and block it. Without any resistance at all, Hisashi gets sent flying into the crystal wall and manages to create a crater by crashing into it. Izuku, still smiling, looks at Hisashi, who's now coughing up blood. Izuku. They won't last much longer. I've got to finish this. Now. Quirk 17. Adrenaline. Temporarily boosts the user's combat capabilities, but also increases the user's love for fighting, which sends them into a sort of high state. It also dulls the user's sense of pain. Quirk 18. Rage. Increases the power of others who are in contact with the user, quirks when the user is enraged. Due to Izuku having multiple quirks, he is able to boost the power of his own quirks. This also increases the drawbacks of the quirks too. Thora. It should go without saying that rage doesn't work on hero. Same goes for adrenaline's drawbacks. Quirk 20. Overclock. Allows the user to temporarily increase their speed of thought. Consequently, letting the user see the world as if it were in slow motion. Izuku. I'll give you my respect, dragon. You're the first person to drive me to this point. Hisashi. Panting thanks, you're a petty tough brat yourself. Izuku. This fight has been quite enjoyable. You've gotten my blood pumping more than any other hero has. I wish I could fight against you forever, but unfortunately, this is the end. Izuku holds his left arm in front of him. He stares at his arm for a few seconds before opening his mouth. He then bites into and rips the skin off of the back of his hand. Hisashi covers his mouth in disgust and shock. Hisashi. What the buck? Izuku then devours the skin and starts eating from the flesh of his arm. After almost a minute, he finishes eating. The bones of his arms can be seen clearly. Hisashi. What the buck are you doing? Izuku. Watch and see. Izuku proceeds to hold his half-eaten arm out to the side. From the eaten parts of his arm, a black substance comes out and forms a giant lance in Izuku's right palm. Izuku's arm then turns into its overdrive state. Izuku. My strongest fire, the black flames. In order to use them, I have to devour my own flesh which acts as fuel. These flames burn over 1,000 times hotter than the flames of hell. Let me show you their destructive power. Before Hisashi can react, Izuku throws the lance at a speed faster than the human eye can see. Hisashi feels an immense pain and looks at his left side to see that the lance had gone through his bicep and separated his arm. Hisashi. Aya. Izuku. These flames have the destructive power to burn through anything and everything. The only drawbacks being that they don't spread and stay in a fixed shape. They also only last as long as the amount of my flesh I've consumed. Hisashi. These flames are ridiculously powerful. They even cauterized my wound. Izuku proceeds to create a small ball made of dark flames around his fist. He then lunges at Hisashi with his arm cocked back. Izuku. Die dragon. Just as Izuku's fist is about to reach Hisashi's face, Izuku feels a sudden pain and starts falling. He then gets kicked in the face and sent a good distance back. Izuku tries to land on his feet but lands on one leg and stumbles before falling back onto his butt. Izuku looks at his right leg to see that it had been severed from above the knee downwards. Izuku. What? Hisashi. You, shitty little brat. You actually made me use my hands. They use up a lot of energy, you know. Izuku looks up to see fire in the form of a blade being emitted from Hisashi's right hand. Fire in the form of an arm can be seen being emitted from Hisashi's stump. Hisashi. Dragon Flame. Dragon's Gauntlet and Gladius. Hisashi then kicks Izuku's dismembered leg away from him. Hisashi. I might not be able to move after this, but I'm going to make sure you get taken down. Hisashi begins emitting a large amount of jade green flames from his arms and mouth. The flames begin accumulating behind him. The flames combine and form into the shape of a dragon. Hisashi. Dragon Soul. Jade Heart. The dragon roars as the fires spread across the glass box. Hisashi lifts up his right hand as a ball of dazzling green flames forms in the mouth of the dragon. The dragon lowers its head so the fireball is right above Hisashi's hand. Izuku manages to stand up on his remaining leg. His leg stump then emits flames that take the form of his missing leg. Izuku. I am the ultimate soldier. I have lived my life ready to die to fulfill my master's wishes. Even if it costs me my life, I swear I will kill you. Izuku creates a pseudo-limb from the skin of his arm that he uses to grab his cut-off leg. Izuku then proceeds to devour his own leg. He then raises his right hand up above his head. Blackish purple flames burst forth from Izuku's hand and spread throughout the room as well. The flames form into a gigantic ball that rests in Izuku's palm and between the skeleton's hands. Izuku. Soul Flame. Dark Emperor. Hisashi. So it all comes down to a clash of flames, eh? I told you before that my flames are superior, you will fall, hero. Izuku. Long live the Dark King. Izuku, with his skeleton trailing behind, dashes towards Hisashi who, with his dragon, dashes at Izuku. Hisashi. Rei-ai-ai. Izuku. Hey-ai-ai-ai-ai-ai. The two bring their arms and flames forward while screaming at the top of their lungs. Their flames clash against each other and begin combining into a massive fireball. The dragon and skeleton get absorbed into it as it seems to start expanding. Consuming the entirety of the glass box, the fireball continues to expand and cracks can be seen on the outside. The others fighting outside stop when they see the glass box begin to break. Twice. That can't be good. Hino. Move. Abi. Run. Everyone begins to start running away from the glass box which now glows from a mixture of green, black, and purple flames. The glass box completely breaks apart as the ball of flames continues to grow. The flames start burning into the ground and nearby buildings. The fireball continues to expand until it reaches the height of a 20-story building. The flames then suddenly contract before rapidly expanding, which causes a massive explosion. The explosion goes on for a few minutes before dying down. When the smoke clears, a large crater with green and purple flames raging inside it can be seen at the epicenter of the destruction. The buildings surrounding the crater have sections of them disintegrated. In the crater, both flame users can be seen close to each other lying on their backs. Both their right arms are completely burned from finger to shoulder. After a few moments of silence, the first one to stand up is Izuku. He struggles to remain on his feet for a few seconds before shambling his way towards Hisashi. Hisashi opens his eyes to see a panting Izuku standing right above him. Izuku. I've cough 1. This cough is the end. Izuku proceeds to point his left index finger down at Hisashi's head. His finger then starts glowing. Izuku. Sayonara, hero. Hisashi proceeds to look up at Izuku. He then spits out a flame bullet at Izuku's face. Unable to react because of exhaustion, the bullet lands a direct hit on Izuku's mask. Hisashi. Burn in hell, you little huh. Izuku's mask, now broken, falls off to reveal his full face. Hisashi's eyes widen as he immediately recognizes the face. Tears start forming from his eyes, and his mouth trembles as if in disbelief. Hisashi. Izuku. Izuku's eyes widen from the shock of hearing Hisashi utter his name. He immediately gains an angered expression. He then gets down on one knee and grabs Hisashi by the shirt. His finger stops glowing before emitting a black flame in the form of a needle that he points at Hisashi. Izuku. How do you know my name? Who told it to you? The thought of a traitor being in the league was unpleasant even for Izuku. He didn't wish to kill his own allies. While he was caught in his own thoughts, Izuku failed to react to Hisashi, who suddenly hugged him. Hisashi, I'm sorry Izuku. Izuku feels a sudden pain in his head from hearing those words. The words echo throughout his mind. The words play back over and over in his head, and it begins to sound as if two voices are being spoken. I'm sorry Izuku. Hisashi. I have absolutely no right to feel this way. I thought you were dead, but here I find you a villain. The child whose face lit up every time they spoke about being a hero, a villain. The child who grew up in front of me without me even noticing. Is it my fault? You tried to kill me after all. I hurt you. What kind of a father does that to their own child? Izuku can't move as he hears Hisashi's words, he can only listen confused at what the man is saying. All the while, someone else was watching them in silence. Hisashi. I understand why you would hate me. After all the lies I told you, after all the times I've let you down. I'm fine with dying here if it'll actually make you feel happier. So go ahead and kill me, but at least know that. Hisashi squeezes Izuku even tighter as his tears soak into Izuku's shoulder. Hisashi. Crying, I'm so happy that you're alive, I'm so glad to see that you've grown to be so strong, even if you are a villain, and I'm grateful that I can die knowing my son will be okay. Thank you so much for being alive, Izuku. Izuku can feel his heart start beating faster. He knows that he's hyperventilating but can't understand why. He can feel tears dripping down from his face as well. The purple flames in the area begin to die down and dissipate without any cause apparent. Izuku is unable to move a single muscle at all. He doesn't even react when he begins to hear a certain voice speak to him. During all of this, the assault team had returned to the area after retreating. Twice. Dear God. Hino. Was this really Hizu's doing? It seems impossible that a human did this. Abi. He's becoming less and less human by the day. Ah, look. The group look at the direction Dabi is pointing and can see Izuku and Hisashi. Rin. Zuzu. Hino. The dragons got him. Twice. Why isn't he doing anything? Toga. Forget why, just go help him. The group rush towards Izuku and Hisashi. Once they reach the two, Toga and Rin pull Izuku away, while twice, Dabi and Hino stand before Hisashi. Rin. Zuzu, are you alright? Speak to me. Toga. He's not responding, his leg and mask are gone too. Dabi. Screw the mission. We can't let this guy live knowing Hiro's face, and Hiro is in no condition to fight now. Dabi proceeds douse Hisashi in blue flames to try and kill him. When he stops, he can see that his flames were blocked by Crust's shield. Twice. This guy. Crust. I will not let you lay a finger on Hisashi-san. Ryukyu. Me too. The group look to the right to see Ryukyu in her dragon form. She then breathes fire in the direction of the group. It is at this point that Hino steps in front of the group and holds his palms up in front of him. Hino. Barrier. An invisible wall forms in front of Hino's hands and blocks the dragon's flames. Hino. Get him the hell out of here before he dies of blood loss. Hino increases the size of the wall and causes it to collapse on top of the heroes. The group then proceed to try and escape with Izuku being carried over Twice's shoulder. Izuku can't help but watch as the distance between him and the heroes increase. He locks eyes with Hisashi one last time before his face gets blocked by Hino. Hino. Snap out of it, Hizu, you can't let those other two see your face. As the group run out of the crater, the heroes break out from under the invisible wall and begin to give chase. When the group finally make it out of the crater, they stop when they see the stealth vehicle waiting for them. The doors of the vehicle open by themselves and reveal no one behind the wheel. Hatsuragi. Get in now. Twice. No time for a Knight Rider joke. Let's get the hell out of here. The group jump into the vehicle and proceed to drive away. While driving away, the group notices Ryukyu and Crust catching up. Hino. They're catching up, go faster. Hatsuragi. I'm going as fast as I can. Abi. Send an emergency signal to Kurogiri now. Twice. On it. Twice sends Kurogiri an emergency signal using the communicator in his arm. Meanwhile, Dabi opens the roof of the vehicle and sticks his top half out. Dabi. Rin, if you've still got Izuya's powers, then give me a damn hand here. Rin. Alright. I'll be right back, Zuzu. Rin moves away from Izuku and joins Dabi. The two then proceed to blast flames at the incoming heroes. Crust however creates a shield and blocks the flames. This allows Ryukyu to continue charging forward. Dabi. Buck. Rin. Where the buck is Kurogiri. Twice. The hell if I know. Just as the heroes are about to reach the group, a black portal appears and swallows up the villains and the vehicle before disappearing again. The villains reappear in the League's vehicle hangar and crash into a wall due to the speed they were traveling at. Hatsuragi. Ow. Hino. My back. Twice. I think I broke my pelvis. Toga. Izuku. The group gather around Izuku who's being dragged out of the vehicle by Dabi. Izuku's eyes look completely dead as he appears to be staring into nothing. Kurogiri. What happened to him? Dabi. I don't know. He was fighting against the Jade Dragon in our mission. He was in this state when we pulled him into retreat. He's not snapping out of it either. Toga. Slap Izuku, wake up. Rin. Stop slapping him. Toga. This is how you bring people to their senses. Rin. Slap then you snap out of it, you're just killing him faster. Twice. Is he even still alive? Hino. His heart is still beating so he's still alive, but he's lost a lot of blood. Twice. He can have mind logic dictates that cyborgs need less blood. Hino. That logic doesn't make any sense and you know you're not compatible, none of us are. Twice. Well then what do we do? Just leave him to me. The group turn to see Afo and Tamura walking towards them. Twice. Lord Vader. Hino. Not the time. Twice. I can't help it, I'm stressed. Tamura. Shut up already. Dabi. Big boss, I thought your body was giving up on you. Afo. As I told Izuku earlier today, my body is fine. Izuku on the other hand. Afo proceeds to bend down and pick Izuku up in his arms. Twice. Is he going to be alright? He lost a lot of blood. Afo. He has taken major damage, mainly because he hadn't fully recovered from his last mission yet. Fret not though, he should be brought back to peak condition in a few hours. Hino. What do you mean? How the hell do you plan on healing his injuries in just a few hours? For God's sake, he lost his damn leg. Afo. We have prepared something if such a case were to come into fruition. He will be in peak physical condition once we're finished with him. So you have no reason to be worried. Afo proceeds to turn around and begins to walk away. However, he stops when he hears a certain individual raise his voice. Dabi. Why? Afo. Dabi. Why the hell did you put him through all this? Afo. Whatever do you mean? Dabi. There's no way you actually thought Izuku was fully recovered from the last mission. There's also no way you didn't know about the Jade Dragon retiring. What was the point of all of this? Why would you make him fight against someone like this alone? Why would you send him on this mission if you knew there was a chance he could die? Before Dabi can continue his rant, he gets interrupted by the bony hand of the League's leader blocking his face. Dabi looks at Tamura to see him coldly staring back. Tamura narrows his eyes as if to give off a warning. Tamura. Sensei has no obligation to explain his reasoning to you. To die for the sake of the League, that is the brat's ultimate duty as the League's ultimate soldier. Afo. Well said, Tamura. And Dabi. Afo turns looks back to face Dabi. He speaks in an ominous tone that sends a chill down Dabi's spine. Afo. Izuku will never die. I will never purposely send Izuku on a mission that he won't return from. Now, I'll be going to take care of Izuku. Be in the bar by 8, I've got an announcement to make. Afo and Izuku then get swallowed up by a black slime and disappear. At this point, Tamura takes the time to face the assault team. Tamura. So, did he kill the dragon? Dabi. No, why do you care? Tamura. I may not seem like it, but I'm the League's boss. It only makes sense for me to want to know how my team's mission went. It's also my duty to make sure the team is in perfect shape for their mission. Dabi. Blaring then why didn't you make sure Izuku was fine for today's mission? Tamura. Today was an exception. It wouldn't have mattered if he was okay for the mission or not. And like I said, if he dies for the sake of the League, then he's fulfilled his duty. Dabi. You heartless bastard. Tamura. Call me what you will, but I'm only thinking rationally. It's an aspect necessary for being a leader. Tamura turns around and begins walking in the direction of the stairs. Tamura. The Vanguard squad are already at the bar. You better get moving too. The group watches him walk on before turning to look at each other. Rin. What did he mean when he said it would have mattered? Toga. No idea. Was killing the Jade Dragon really important enough to risk Izuku's health? Dabi. There has to have been another reason for this mission. I just don't know what it could be. Twice. Another reason. Hino. You think it had something to do with that state he was in? Dabi. Maybe, it all ties down to what the hell happened in there. Elsewhere. Afo and the doctor can be seen standing in front of a giant capsule filled with green goo. In the capsule, Izuku can be seen floating in the goo with several tubes filled with red liquid connected to his body, as well as an oxygen mask and large cable connected to the side of his head. Standing next to the capsule was a skinny gray humanoid figure with an exposed brain. The doctor walks up to a small screen attached to the capsule. Doctor? My, he really overdid himself this time. He burned through 20 years' worth of flames in that final attack alone. If it weren't for his limitless lifespan, then he'd probably look like he was in his early 40s. Afo? Will this work? Doctor? I can assure you, Master, that I've already tested on the subjects we've gotten from water, and the results were exactly as expected. I've also performed surgery on Izuku's organs again. I can 100% guarantee that this will work. Afo? Understand that if anything goes wrong. Afo holds out his hand, and red lightning can be seen crackling in his hand. Afo? There will be consequences. The doctor looks at Afo and smiles confidently. Doctor? Hahaha, I am well aware of the consequences, Master. But I am confident that there will be no problems whatsoever. Afo? If that is the case, then let us begin. Doctor? Understood. Beginning procedure. Afo proceeds to walk up to the capsule and place his hand on the glass. His fingers then seem to phase through the glass. Afo? Forced quirk activation. Black and red tendrils sprout from Afo's fingers and stab into Izuku's side. Afo? Enema. Izuku's right arm and right leg proceed to turn into tentacles while his damaged limbs remain unchanged. His limbs then snap off from the rest of his body. Using his tendrils, Afo removes the limbs from the capsule and hands them to the doctor. Afo? Nomu, now. The Nomu proceeds to place its gray hands on the glass capsule. Like Afo's fingers, the Nomu's hands phase through the glass. The goo in the capsule then seems to start glowing. Afo? How long will this process take? Doctor? Well, it normally takes an octopus 3 days for it to regrow one of its limbs. However, using the Nomu's quirk to accelerate Izuku's aging, his limbs should be regrown within a few hours. This will also help with the recovery of his organs. Afo? I see. Have you watched the footage? Doctor? I have. It appears you were right, Master. His reaction seems to indicate that his memories are still intact somewhere in his subconscious. I'll have to do a more thorough reprogramming after the next mission. Afo? Could you not do it with this Nomu's power? Doctor? I have to physically reprogram his brain through the use of a Nomu. The procedure is incredibly delicate and the slightest error can have major consequences. The procedure itself lasts for 2 whole days and the recovery is almost instantaneous. This Nomu's quirk would have absolutely no benefit. Afo? I see. Doctor? We could always have him skip the next mission. Afo? No, Izuku will be necessary for the next mission. He must be there to defend Tamura. Doctor? As you wish, Master, as you wish. Same place, 7:47 p.m. Izuku slowly opens his left eye to greet his new green-tinted surroundings. Izuku? Where am I? Izuku focuses his vision past the green goo and can see the familiar scene of the lab. Izuku? I'm in the lab. Wait, why can't I see out my right eye? Before Izuku can continue his thoughts, he's interrupted by the sound of the goo draining. He slowly descends to the bottom of capsule and can feel the tubes being pulled out from his back as well as the cable detaching from his head. He lands on his feet but stumbles a bit. Izuku looks down to see that his missing leg had healed with a burn scar at the point it was separated. He then looks at his left arm to see that it too was fully healed. The parts that he had eaten were a little darker compared to the rest of it. Finally, he looks to his right arm to see that it was completely burned, covered from fingertip to shoulder in a massive burn scar. Doctor? Ah, it looks like you've already adjusted to your new limbs. Izuku? Doctor? Doctor? So, how do they feel? Do they feel different from your old limbs? Izuku? They feel the same. Why doesn't my eye work? Doctor? Oh, I just turned it off to charge and transfer the footage. Hold still so I can turn it back on. The doctor proceeds to walk up to Izuku and opens up his eyelids. He then touches Izuku's mechanical eye which seems to turn it on. Doctor? Better. Izuku? Very much so. Afo? Good. Izuku flinches and turns around to see Afo standing in front of him. He immediately gets down on one knee and lowers his head. Izuku? Master? Afo? You have no reason to be so on edge, Izuku. Izuku? Master, I failed you. I hesitated to kill and he knows my face now. I don't know what happened, I just. Afo? Calm yourself, Izuku, it's alright. You've done your best and completed the mission to the best of your abilities. As for your face, it won't be much of a problem. According to the media and information we received from Jiren, the Jade Dragon is in a coma. He won't be a threat until he regains consciousness. And we will make sure that he never does. Understood? Izuku, yes master. Afo. Good. Hands Izuku clothes now get changed. I'm going to be addressing the League on the next mission. You have 5 minutes. Izuku, yes master. Afo walks away and leaves Izuku to get changed. Without any delay, Izuku quickly dresses in his pitch black clothes. He then proceeds to walk towards Afo. While walking towards Afo, Izuku thinks back to his fight against Hisashi. Specifically, the words that caused him pain from simply hearing them. Izuku. Those words, why did they have such an impact on me? And that voice. It sounded so familiar. Izuku is forced to shake off his thoughts as he reaches Afo's side. He stands next to him as they're both swallowed up by gray sludge and disappear. In the next instance, they reappear in the League's bar where Izuku is immediately tackled down to the ground by 2 blonde and black blurs. D&R. Aizu Kunzuzu. Izuku. Himiko. Rin. Toga. Crying I'm so glad you're okay. Rin. Crying you had us really worried. The two continue to cry on and squeeze Izuku until they get pulled off by Hino. Hino. Give him some damn space you two. Toga. Crying no. Rin. Crying Zuzu. Izuku. Sweat drop good to see you guys are alright. Need a hand, big bro? Izuku looks up to see a well-dressed younger boy offering him a hand. Izuku takes the boy's hand, stands up, and proceeds to rustle his hair. Izuku. Thanks Katsuragi. Katsuragi. No problem big bro. Abi. You alright Izuya? Izuku. Yeah, I feel as good as new. Twice. So you've gone the way of the cyborg and gotten a robotic leg, eh? Wait how come yours look so lifelike? Afo? That's because it's a real leg. Instead of the way of the cyborg you could say he went the way of the octopus and regrew his leg and arm. Twice. That sounds ridiculous, so I'll believe it. Izuku. Somehow, I still have scars. Spinner. Hey, you should be glad to have scars. They make the man you know. Impress. He had enough scars before, this is just worrisome. Magni. You really have to learn to take better care yourself. Izuku. Yeah, I guess I should. Tamura. Sensei, can we get to the point? Afo. Very well then. Listen everyone, the next mission is at hand. Tomorrow, we will make the existence of the League known to the world. Twice. We're hitting the big leagues, eh? Katsuragi and Spinner. Boo. Abi. And how exactly do you plan on doing that? Afo. Using the thugs the Vanguard squad gathered for us, we will invade UA. A high school that trains talented youths to become heroes. Twice. A high school, eh? Say aren't you round about that age Izu bro? Izuku. Yeah, but I already learned everything I need to know from the doctor. Abi. Why exactly are we targeting some hero high school? Afo. UA is a highly respected high school that has given rise to several of the top-ranking heroes of today. Invading them is an easy way for the League to make a name for itself. Also there's a certain someone that works at UA. Killing him will cause everyone to fear the League's power. Katsuragi. Certain someone. Abi. Who is this certain person that you're so keen on killing? Afo. You could say he's the bane of my existence. He's the man who put me in this mask. His presence brings fear to the hearts of any lesser villains. He is known around the world as the symbol of peace. The so-called No.1 hero, All Might. This caused everyone except Izuku, Tamura and Kurogiri to either gasp loudly or choke on the drink they were drinking. Spinner. All Might. Hino. No way. Abi. You can't be serious you want us to go up against that monster. Twice. Might as well start writing my will. Compress, I'm leaving you my robot arm. Afo. You seem to be misunderstanding things. None of you will be fighting All Might. Toga. Well then who will? Afo turns and nods at Kurogiri who nods back. Kurogiri then proceeds to transform himself into a portal. On the other side of the portal, the sound of big heavy footprints can be heard. Coming out of the portal steps a bulky, beak-faced, purple-skinned monster with an exposed brain. Afo. This is the Nomu who will be fighting All Might. He is the bio-engineered symbol of peace. He has been fitted with quirks specifically chosen to counteract and kill All Might. Twice. He thick as shit. Abi. So this thing is going to kill All Might. Afo. Yes, like I just said, he was created specifically for the sole purpose of killing All Might. Abi. And how do you plan on doing this? Are you just gonna charge through UA's front gate with an army of thugs and pray that All Might'll be in that day? Afo. I've no reason to base it all on chance Dabi. Thanks to Tamura, we know All Might's location at all times. This allows us to determine the perfect time and place to strike. Dabi. What? Twice. Tamura, really? When did you do that? Tamura. This morning. Do I look like the kind of person who likes to go on walks? Rin. Through a cemetery, yes. Hino. So this Nomu is the one going on the mission. At least we don't have to do anything. Afo. Actually, there are 3 of you who will go on this mission along with the Nomu. Spinner. What, why? Afo. Well, Nomu is powerful enough to take on All Might, it lacks intelligence. He needs to be given orders to have his potential used efficiently. Also, a member of the League is necessary for it to make its name known. Impress. Alright, that makes sense. Though, the question is. Abi. Who's going? Afo. The 3 most impactful members of the League will be taking part in tomorrow's mission. The leader of the League, Shigaraki Tamura. The League's first member, Kurogiri. And the ultimate soldier, Izuku. Thoga. Hold up. Rin. What? Abi. You're making Izuku participate in tomorrow's mission, even after what happened today. Afo. Izuku will be going to maintain the safety of Tamura here. Nothing more, nothing less. Abi. You can't be serious, you're pushing his body too much. Izuku. Dabi, I'm fine. My body has healed perfectly. Abi. You have a choice in this Izuku, you can't keep jumping into dangerous mission like this. Izuku. I'm fine, Dabi. I want to do this. It is my duty. Dabi. If something goes wrong, you could get killed by All Might. What if what happened earlier with the Jade Dragon happened again? You might just freeze up again and… Izuku. I said I'm fine too, ya. Dabi, as well as everyone else, is taken back by Izuku's sudden outburst. They all stare at him while and can see that he is visibly agitated. He stares Dabi down angrily before Afo grabs his shoulder. Izuku looks at Afo before looking at the others and breathing out and calming down. Izuku. Like I said, I'm fine, Dabi. What happened today was a fluke. Nothing more, nothing less. And I can assure you that what happened today won't happen again, ever. Dabi. Okay, whatever you say, Izu. Hatsuragi. To Hino, I've never seen Big Bro snap like that before. Hino. Same here. Afo. Getting back to the mission, Tamura will be providing the Nomu with orders. Kurogiri will serve as our means of infiltration and escape. Hiro will be going as an extra line of defense to ensure Tamura's safety. The rest of you will remain at the bar on standby. Izuku, the doctor and I will be monitoring the events through your eye camera. Be alert for any new orders. Izuku, yes master. Afo. Tamura, Kurogiri, Izuku, you 3 are to be in training facility early tomorrow morning. From there we will launch the invasion. I'll explain the final details to you then as well. Tamura, Kurogiri and Izuku. Understood. Afo. Good. That's it for the debriefing. You may all leave to your rooms, but be sure to be at the bar at the normal time. Everyone, yes sir. Afo. You're all dismissed. After saying this, Afo gets swallowed up by the black sludge and disappears. Hatsuragi. Guess we should probably call it a night then. Hino. Why yeah. Twice. See you guys tomorrow morning. Everyone proceeds to exit quietly without saying a word to each other. While walking to his room, Dabi stops when he feels a hand on his shoulder. He turns around to see Izuku. Izuku. Dabi, I'm sorry about my outburst there. I know you dislike that name of yours. Understand that I only said it out of frustration. Frustration from not being able to complete the mission and frustration caused from me freezing up like that. I honestly have no idea what happened. Dabi. No need to apologize. I stepped out of line there and poked at what I'm guessing is a sensitive subject. Just be sure to watch yourself tomorrow. Dabi shakes of Izuku's hand and proceeds to walk in the direction of his room. Unbeknownst to the 2 of them, a certain masked cyborg was watching from behind a corner. Twice. Looks like they managed to sort things out between the 2 of them. Thank goodness, I was worried they'd end up having a falling out. Boy. Twice jumps a bit hearing a familiar voice coming from behind him. He turns around to find his hand-covered leader. Tamura. I want to have a word with you. 10:22 p.m., Izuku's room. Izuku can be seen lying in his bed and staring at the ceiling. He looks at nothing in particular but is merely lost in his thoughts. He can't help but wonder whose voice it was that he heard and where he heard it before. He holds his right arm up and looks at his palm. After a few seconds of staring, he places his palm on his face. Izuku. Read. Izuku's palm and left eye glow blue as his vision begins to distort. Once Izuku's vision clears up, he can see himself in a dark red hallway filled with paintings. Izuku walks down the hallway and passes by several paintings depicting his recent memories. After a while of walking, Izuku reaches the end of the hallway. On the end wall is a painting depicting Izuku as a child. He's wearing bandages like an eye patch and sitting against a wall in the rain in an alley. Izuku. This is my earliest memory. If it's anywhere then it's here. Izuku proceeds to grab onto the frame of the painting with both his hands. The picture seems to enlarge until it's the size of a door. Izuku then walks through the painting and appears in the alley. Izuku proceeds to sit down next to his past self. After a moment of listening for a voice, both Izukus can feel the rain stop falling on them. The younger Izuku looks up to see a man in a black mask looking down at him while holding an umbrella. "Why are you out here in the rain?" Young Izuku. "I live here." "Where is your family?" Young Izuku. "Don't have." "And your eye?" Young Izuku. "Hero burned it." This causes Izuku to place his hand on his scared face, while his younger self buries his face into his knees. The masked man bends down to look younger Izuku in the eye. "Tell me, what is your quirk?" Young Izuku. "Don't have one." "I see, and your name?" Young Izuku. "Izuku." "Well then Izuku, I'm feeling generous today, so I'm willing to offer you a proposition. But first I need to know something. How do you feel about dying?" Izuku looks at his younger self who has the same emotionless as him. They both look up and answer in the same monotone voice. Young Izuku and Izuku. "I don't mind it." "Good. In that case, how would you like to come with me?" Young Izuku. If you come with me, I can offer you shelter, food, a warm bed, and any luxury you wish for." Young Izuku. "Really?" "Yes, however, this doesn't come to you for free. In exchange, you will become my soldier. I will train you to become a killing machine for the sake of me and my prodigy. You must walk over the corpses of both our enemies and the innocent without so much as a hint of disgust or regret. You must be willing and happy to die for my sake. If you can agree to this, then I will take you in." "So, what do you say Izuku?" Izuku looks at his younger self who doesn't even hesitate to answer. Young Izuku. "I'll do it." "Oh, you're more eager than I thought." Young Izuku. "I have no reason to live. I have nothing to lose if I accept and I can only gain if I do." I like the way you think." The figure proceeds to pick up and carry the young Izuku with his one arm while still holding the umbrella. He then starts walking out of the alley. "Izuku. What's your name?" "Oh, I suppose I forgot to tell you. I am Afo, the world's greatest villain." Izuku. "Afo Master." "Afo? Master, eh? That works too." Afo continues to walk away with the younger Izuku as the area begins turning to white. The area turns completely white before turning into the hallway. Izuku can be seen sitting against the wall of the hall. Izuku. "Nothing, damn." Izuku stands up and proceeds to walk down the hall while clutching his chin and mumbling to himself. Izuku. "I don't get it." The voice I heard sounded feminine, but from that point forward, I'd never had any interaction with any females outside the league. And even if I had, only the league members know my name, and only because I told them. Does that voice lie beyond my furthest memory? If so, how do I get to it? And what about Hisashi? How does he know me? I don't have any memories of encountering him either. What is going on with me? Am I hallucinating or him? Izuku stops walking as he reaches a certain painting depicting the events of Izuku's first mission. Underneath the painting, Izuku can see what appears to be a crack in the wall, through which a dark substance appears to be seeping through. Confused by the sight, Izuku bends down in front of the crack. Izuku proceeds to touch the crack with his index finger. Bright light then bursts forth from the crack and engulfs the whole area before turning to darkness. Izuku looks around him only to see complete darkness. He then feels a sudden pain and covers his ears as a sea of voices floods in. "I'm sorry Izuku. Hang in there, champ. You should probably give it up. You look like you were asking for help. Useless Deku. It's my fault. Take a swan dive off the roof. What the hell can you do? Let it burn son. Consider what's realistic young man. Can I be a hero too? Sayonara, Kakin." Izuku keeps clutching his head as the voices kept growing louder and louder. Through the pain, Izuku manages to lift his head up and can see a blood-red humanoid figure standing in front of him. Before Izuku can react, the figure shoves his hand in Izuku's face. This causes Izuku to break out of his red. He quickly sits up in bed and breaks out in a cold sweat while panting heavily. He presses his hand against his heart and can feel it beating rapidly. The sound of shuffling in his bed breaks him out of his panicked state. "Toga. Izuku, is something wrong? Rin. Did something happen?" Izuku looks at the females at his left and right. He tries to calm himself down and puts on a false smile. "Izuku. Everything's alright. I just had a night terror is all. Sorry if I woke you two up." "Rin. Really? Toga. Are you sure you're okay? You look really shaken up." Izuku. "I'm fine." Toga and Rin look at each other before looking back at Izuku. The two then both grab one of Izuku's arms which surprises Izuku. "Toga. Izuku, I trust you more than anyone else in the world. So please, if there's something troubling you then don't lie to me about it." "Rin. I feel the same, Zuzu. If you're suffering, then let me suffer with you. Izuku looks at the two of them and can see the concern in their faces. Izuku. Thank you, you too. I'm happy to see that you two care for me. But you don't have to worry, I won't keep everything to myself. D&R. Promise. Izuku. I promise. A red figure with glowing wide eyes can be seen in complete darkness and floating in front of what appears to be a crack with light seeping through it. The figure tilts its head to the side and tries to touch the crack. When the figure's finger made contact with the crack, it appears to get pulled in like a vacuum, but the figure quickly pulls it back. The figure proceeds to cock his hand to the other side and looks at its finger before looking back at the crack. The figure then touches the crack again. The figure begins to get sucked into it but doesn't seem to be bothered by it. The figure gets sucked in completely and reappears face down in a red hallway. The figure's red form begins slowly converting into flesh and clothes. The figure shakily stands up and lifts its head. This reveals its black and green hair and its two emerald green eyes. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.